and welcome back to another episode of The Greatest Show in the Galaxy, the show where I, the curator, discuss my personal favorite show of all time, personal favorite franchise of all time, Doctor Who. And today we are continuing with the topic from last month, and I have a feeling it's going to be just as long, if not longer, than last month, so let's not waste any more time and add our good guest onto the show as quickly as possible, Mr. Soda.
So the irony of this is we have a shorter list of people, but they have a lot more credits.
Potentially, because as we discussed last week, most of the people from last week's show quit acting after Doctor Who, which the same cannot really be said about some of the people here.
Nope. Some of these people had careers before, but you could arguably say their careers got bigger afterwards.
As you would,
when we hit Matt Smith's era.
Yeah. As you would expect from someone associated themselves with a huge mega franchise like Doctor Who, which as it is in the modern era, not as it was back then. But of course, as regular viewers of the show will probably know at this point, we're not going to talk about them just yet. We got to talk about the birthday people. There's an interesting list of people today.
Okay.
I would say that. And of course, we are counting from the 18th of July, all the way to the 24th. And starting us off is on the 18th of July, Mr. Paul Cornell. He's primarily known as a writer. Okay. He wrote many Doctor Who stuff, from novels, specifically in the Virgin New Adventures series. He also wrote a couple of episodes, primarily the Human Nature and Family of Blood, which were adaptations of his previous Seventh Doctor novel of the same name, Human Nature.
I didn't know that was him. Like I knew that was adopted. I didn't know it was him.
Yeah. So he also wrote a lot of Big Finish Big Finish episodes, some of which were also Big Finish adaptations of his work. But of course, he's mostly probably recognized as being the originator of the character of Bernice Summerfield.
Oh.
Legendary character in the Doctor Who mythos. And moving on, we got nobody on the 19th for some reason, but on the 20th, this is a pretty interesting one. Roy Skelton.
Any relation to Red?
I don't know, but he's the original voice of the Daleks. Well, one of the original voice of the Daleks. If you remember, we had the other guy that was the original name of the voice of the Daleks in the previous episode. Apparently, their birthdays are a week apart from each other. Well, and they were voicing the Daleks around at the same time, both of them together.
Huh.
Yeah, and of course, he also did the Cybermen voices in the 10th Planet and the Wheel in Space. He was the voice of the Monoids. He was the voice of the computer in the Ice Warriors. He was the voice of the Crotons. He was in the Colonies. What? Yeah, he's basically the Nicholas Briggs of his era, or rather, one could argue that Nicholas Briggs is the Roy Skeleton of the modern era.
Cool.
Yeah, and speaking of Daleks, we jumped the gun a little bit there. Next up, also on the 20th, we have, I really hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly, Jeff Rowell. You recognize the face, right?
I do, but I can't. The funny thing is, I'm not recognizing him from Who. I'm recognizing him from somewhere else.
Where?
That's the thing. I can't, I've seen him and stuff, but I just can't place it.
Do you want a hint?
Fuck. I know this. Yeah, go ahead. It's going to be one of those, as soon as you say it, I'm like, that's it.
Amos Diggory.
That's it. It was Harry Potter.
Yeah, he is Amos Diggory. He was also in a Fifth Doctor episode called Frontius. He was in an episode of the Sarah Jane Adventures, Mona Lisa's Revenge, as the curator of the museum. He was on Big Finish a couple of times, but primarily probably his biggest Doctor Who role, he played the iconic figure Mervyn Pinfield in An Adventure in Space and Time. So yeah, one of the original producers of the show in its infancy.
Right
so
on. Yeah,
gotta give
I'm
respect
looking at
to
him,
the
and
guy.
it's like, okay, I'm picturing him in robes, and said it was Amos Diggory the whole time. It's like, I'm just right there.
You might recognize this guy. Also on the 20th. Hold on, let me just make sure I get the name right. Rory Jennings. You recognize this guy, right?
Not necessarily.
He was the kid from the Idiot's Lantern episode.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, the kid from the episode where the TV eats
he
people's
looks
faces.
a little bit older in here, so that's probably why I couldn't. Like, wasn't he younger when he did that episode?
Yeah, he's 40 now, but
he's how old?
He's 40.
Fuck off.
Yeah,
that episode's not even 20 years old.
But here's the main question: why is he even on here? Like, why is he big enough to be on this list, right?
Because he was in the Idiot's Lantern.
Well, yes, that, and after that, he played young Davros in the I, Davros origin story series on Big Finish.
Oh, well, that's a pretty good reason.
Yeah, so you know how every once in a while they give these origin stories for villains where they go back when they're younger and try to explain why they are the way they are, and basically they grab the bed and it's all shit.
Usually, yeah.
Not the case with this one. This is, the I, Davros series, that is the type of series that these other series trying to do this wish they could be. So that is, and you know me, I don't say this lightly, by far, easily the best Big Finish thing I've ever listened to.
Wow, I don't think I've ever heard you say that about anything Big Finish.
Yeah, and now you have.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty high praise, my man.
Also, that's how good it is. And yeah, I've listened to hundreds of stuff.
Yes,
so has. Also on the 20th of July, Miss Sinead Michael, this girl right here.
Don't recognize her.
Yeah, she played Skye in the final series of the Sarah Jane Adventures, essentially Sarah Jane's adopted daughter.
Gotcha. Yeah, I haven't seen anything from that final episode. That final series, sorry.
Unfortunately, that series was cut short. Primarily also a potential storyline involving her and explaining for good where she came from and why she was so integral to the plot of this season.
Why was, like I said, short? Was it because Elizabeth Sladen passed away?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
They managed to have episode 1 and 2 and 3, and 1 and 2 and the final episode in the can before she passed away. So they didn't have the time to get to her storyline, which, case in point, if you've seen the 2020 webcast Farewell Sarah Jane Smith, where they basically acknowledge Sarah Jane's death and funeral, she's nowhere to be found, which, I suppose the actress wasn't available, whatever, but in universe, I can assume she's back on her home planet or wherever she came from.
Huh.
Maybe Big Finish can do something with that.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't, because it's been, 10 years at least since she's passed?
That was the anniversary, the webcast.
Okay, so yeah, you'd think by now they'd have done something.
Yeah. And on the 22nd, we have Miss Bonnie Langford. You know her, right?
Of course I know who that is.
Yeah. Melanie Bush, of course.
Mel Bush. Yeah,
she played the character of Melanie Bush, the companion of the 6th and 7th Doctors, and she came back in The Power of the Doctor, and she's also coming back in Shuri Gatwa's upcoming season, or series, depending who you ask. So yeah, can't wait for that. It's a character I think deserves to come back, because I think the way she was handled in the 80s was very, very messy. And she deserves better as a character.
It's nice that they're bringing back as many old companions as they can. You know? Especially some of those later year ones.
I mean, Sarah Jane Smith was the best companion, but there there are other companions they could have brought back to the show, and now they're doing it, which is great.
Right. But I'm going to be 100% honest. School Reunion wouldn't have worked without Sarah Jane.
Yeah, definitely, it could not have been any other companion.
Oh, yeah,
And
it's
speaking
like
of which,
we're seeing like Mel come back, we're seeing Ace come back, we're seeing Tegan come back. We saw Ian come back. Who saw that one coming? Like it's nice that they're bringing back the legacy characters again.
yeah,
Because
I love that.
They're legacy characters. Without them, we wouldn't be here, as you say at the end of every birthday.
Yeah, and now here's a companion who probably won't come back. Also on the 22nd, Adrian Hill, who of course played the character of Katarina, the Trojan handmaiden, which first companion to die on screen. So on the 23rd, here's an interesting one: Pippa Bennett Warner. She appeared in one of my favorite Capaldi episodes. Well, one of my favorite episodes from Capaldi's first season. And spoiler alert, there aren't that many that I like from that season. But yeah, she was in Time Heist as the character Sabra, who of course she's a shapeshifter. She was in a bunch of the 8 Doctor box sets, but here's the main reason I bring her up here. She was in the Lone Centurion series, with of course featured Rory as the Lone Centurion, and she basically played Guinevere.
Wait,
from the King Arthur myth.
I was going to say that Guinevere.
That Guinevere, yeah.
So then, who is Rory? If she was Guinevere, who is Rory? Was he Galahad?
No, he was just he was one of the knights. They would never specified who he was, but he was like King Arthur's main knight. Yeah, you gotta listen to that. I mean, yes. So basically, they cast a black Guinevere, and no one batted an eye.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Also on the 23rd, Tossin Cole, another person we're going to talk about today. Of course, he played Ryan Sinclair, the 13th Doctor companion. From Whittaker's era. And lastly, on the 24th, we have Miss Julia Graham. She played a prime minister in the Unbound series on Big Finish. Okay. She was, of course, Ruby White, the antagonist of season 4 of Sarah Jane Adventures, an episode Goodbye, Sarah Jane Smith. She was another character in the Blood Furnace on Big Finish, and of course, she was most recently Ravio in Ascension of the Cybermen and the Timeless Children on the show. So, yeah, she basically got to be on Big Finish, Sarah Jane Adventures, and the main show. So, good for her. Wow. So, the wonderfully lovely, long-lived list of people we had today. Thank you all. We quite literally could not do this without you.
Yep. All right. Let's bring on the main topic.
On to the main topic. As we discussed last week, we're going to talk about the people behind the companions, in a way. The people who played the companion, or in other words, the actors who played the companions on the TV show. We're going to talk about their lives and careers, other projects they may have been associated with, and just,
one of which do we really need to go into how deep their career went, because they're arguably one of the biggest stars on the planet right now.
Yeah. And, one could argue that this wouldn't have happened if it weren't for Doctor Who.
True.
So, of course, we gotta go back to the OG, the
Run.
Yeah, basically Run. The one that started it all for the modern series, Rose Tyler, played, of course, by the lovely Billie Piper,
who I had no idea had a career in a different form of entertainment prior to Doctor Who. I didn't really know much about her.
You did not know that?
Here's the thing. My first introduction to Billie Piper was Who. I didn't know who she was prior to that.
Yeah, me too. But I mean, I do know about her private.
Well, yeah, I know about her private life. I'm just saying, like, when I read it, it surprised me.
Wait. You read ahead? You spoiled yourself, sir?
When I first became a fan of Doctor Who, I did a deep dive into a lot of these people who I saw on screen years ago.
Oh, okay.
So this is last week was fun to be.
I thought you meant now for this show.
No. So like I know who a majority of these people are. I know what they've gone on to do. Unlike the last episode,
Yeah,
like
definitely.
I
The last
know.
episode was a lot of surprises for you.
Yeah, a lot of surprises. Whereas this one's like I can actually contribute to the conversation more or less.
Cool. So let's break it down. Rose Tyler, played by, of course, by Billie Piper. She initially gained recognition as a singer after releasing her debut single, "Because We Want To." Because we want to. Sorry, it was
So
kind of.
he's already listened to the single.
Yeah, I've listened to it before before starting this list. Yeah, "Because We Want To" at the age of 15, no less, which made her, get this, the youngest female singer to enter the UK singles chart at number 1.
Yep, yeah, it's weird considering you see how many artists have come out of Britain. We're like, really, she was the
First to enter at the youngest to enter at number 1.
Yeah.
Very important wording there. Now, her follow-up single, "Girlfriend," also entered at number 1. In 1998, she released her debut studio album, "Honey to the Bee," which was certified platinum by the British phonographic industry. Her second studio album, "Walk of Life," was released in 2000 and spawned her third number 1 single, "Day and Night." In 2003, she announced that she had ended her music career to focus on acting.
Mm-hmm.
She starred as Hannah Baxter in the drama series "Secret Diary of a Call Girl," and that's probably her most famous role outside of Doctor Who.
Also has appearances by Matt Smith in it. And
Yep.
it's the people who've been in it. It's kind of astounding. Lily James has been in it. James Darcy, who was Jarvis in Agent Carter. And this is a fun one. Callum Blue. Do you know who that is?
Kneel before Zod.
Attaboy.
Yeah, she was also in Penny Dreadful from 2014 to 2016.
I haven't seen it, but I heard it's a really good show.
Me too, and I never saw it.
Yeah.
And in the Netflix original series Collateral in 2018, for which she was nominated for a British Academy Television Award for Best Supporting Actress. She co-created and starred in the Sky Atlantic series I Hate Susie from 2020 to the present day, for which she earned a BAFTA nomination for Best Actress in 2021 and 2023. She has starred in 5 plays since 2007 and won the 2017 Laurence Olivier Award for Best Actress in a Leading Role in a play for her performance in Yerma. She is the only actor to have won 6 out of an available 6 Best Actress awards for a single performance. She started dance classes at age 5. 2 years later, she started off in soft drink commercials for American TV before appearing as an extra in the 1996 film Evita, starring Madonna.
Whoa! Say that again.
She starred as an extra in the she appeared as an extra in the 1996 film Evita, starring Madonna.
I've seen Evita, and I'm like, I don't remember her.
Well, remember, it's 1996, so yeah. She completed work on 2 standalone television productions. In the first, a BBC adaptation of Philip Pullman's historical novel *The Ruby and the Smoke*, which was broadcast in December 2006. The BBC planned to film a 4-part of all 4 of Pullman's Sally Lockhart novels, with Piper continuing in the role in The Shadow in the North, which was shown in December 2006. She also appeared in an adaptation of Jane Austen's novel Mansfield Park, screened on ITV in March of 2007. This was her first acting role on television for a broadcaster other than the BBC. She then provided voiceovers for various television commercials, including one for Comfort Fabric Softener, airing in June 2007. And that's about it. Saturday was a bit messy. We're kind of going like television separate, stage separate, commercial separate,
Yeah,
and separate.
a lot when you're using Wikipedia for a lot of these people. Yeah, like Billy Piper clearly Doctor Who, but I mean, outside of the Call Girl show, like none of that rings a bell with anything. Like it's just basically those are the two things I know her from, and that she was a singer prior.
Not even Evita.
See, here's the thing. Of course, I've seen Evita, but I didn't know until today that she was an extra in there.
So I kind of helped you there.
Yeah, a little bit. I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Now, sadly, we have to talk about this guy. And I say sadly for more than the reason you might think.
But 50, really? Because we don't talk about Bruno. Hey, man.
All right, so Adam Mitchell, of course, was played by Bruno Langley. Again, sadly, we have to talk about him. From 2001 to 2004, he played the character of Todd Grimshaw in the ITV soap opera Coronation Street.
Oh, cool.
As the first openly gay character on the show, he developed a large gay following. Yeah. He also had a semi-regular role from 2001 to 2002 in Linda Green. While on leave from Coronation Street, he has played the role of Adam Mitchell in Doctor Who, of course. He also filmed a small role in the feature film The League of Gentlemen's Apocalypse.
Oh.
Not to be confused with The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, no, I know The League of Gentlemen. It's a comic we're going back a long ways.
Yeah, so which was released in 2005, as well as an episode of Dalziel and Pasco, and the little scene film Halal Harry in 2006, and a read of Horace for BBC Radio 7. He returned to Coronation Street for a 12-episode guest stint in 2007. In April 2011, he returned to Coronation Street for a 1-episode appearance, and in 2023, it was announced that he was returning to Coronation Street as a regular character, and his character returned in the episodes screened on November 4th. However, following his sexual assault charges, his contract with Coronation Street was terminated in October 2017. In the summer of 2005, he made his stage debut in an acclaimed run of Romeo and Juliet at Stafford Castle. On October 30th, 2005, he appeared on stage at the Old Vic in London in the one night only play Night Sky with Christopher Eccleston and David Warner, among others. So yeah, 2 doctors right there. In the spring of 2006, he appeared in Life Imitates Art at the Camden People's Theatre. Also in 2006, he was seen in a production of A Taste of Honey beginning in May 2008. He appeared in the musical Sleeping Beauty at the Gaiety Theatre in Dublin. He also appeared in the stage show Flashdance, the musical, in 2010 In 2010-2011, he joined the tour of Calendar Girls. In November 2012, he began playing.
Cool.
What?
I know the movie.
Calendar Girls? Yeah. This was a stage tour.
Yeah, that's based off of the movie.
Yeah.
He was in the movie. Julie Walters, Penelope Wilton.
Yes, I know who she was. Who she is, sorry. In November 2012, he began playing Giles Ralston in the 60th anniversary tour of The Mousetrap by Agatha Christie. And why the hell does this guy have a longer filmography than Billy Piper? I will not understand, but no, it is.
Which is ironic. I wouldn't consider theater filmography. First off, because there's one thing missing from that. Film.
Wikipedia.
Second of all, no, he doesn't. If you actually look at his proper, which I'm looking at on Wikipedia right now, Coronation Street, Linda Green, Stars in Their Eyes, Doctor Who, Dalziel and Pasco, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen Apocalypse, and Halal Harry. That's only 7 credits.
Well, not credits, just the textbook that I just read.
Yeah, and I mean, even going on IMDb, that's all he has. There's only 7 credits.
Yeah,
so it's not that long.
I mean, he has, unfortunately, he has a longer text than some other people on this list, but
And
I
from the
mean,
looks of it, a longer rap sheet as well.
but I mean,
Holy
the
shit.
guy, the guy had sexual assault charges against him, so it's kind of uncomfortable to talk about.
Yeah. And he ended up getting, he was ordered to observe a curfew, wear an electric tag, pay 250 pounds compensation to his victims, and sign on to the sex offender register for 5 years. This guy fucked up. I'm sorry, if it was anybody but Adam, I would have brought it up.
Yeah, even more so than the show.
Yeah. Yeah, no shit, eh? Art imitating life.
Well, I mean, I mean,
Dude,
there are
totally.
kind of a couple of other. I mean, there are kind of a couple of others that could fall into the sexual assault category, and well, we're gonna talk about them anyway.
Especially the sex
Speaking
guy.
of, yeah, speaking of sexual stuff, you gotta figure this guy was gonna show up eventually, right?
Yep. Oh, totally. Totally. Where was
What?
the first place you saw him?
Probably Doctor Who.
See, I thought it was Doctor Who for a long time.
Let me guess, it was the producers?
Yep.
Right. And if you let me get on, we could actually get to that.
Hey, I like to contribute to the conversation sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. So Captain Jack Harkness, the incomparable Captain Jack Harkness, also known as Javik Piotr Thane, played, of course, by John Barrowman. Born in Glasgow, he moved to the U.S. State of Illinois with his family at the age of 8. Encouraged by his high school teachers there, he studied performing arts at the United States International University in San Diego before landing the role of Billy Crocker in Anything Goes in London's West End. Since his debut, he has played lead roles in various musicals, both in the West End and on Broadway, including Miss Saigon, Saigon, whatever, The Phantom of the Opera, Sunset Boulevard, and Matador. After appearing in Sam Mendes' production of The Fix, he was nominated for the 1998 Laurence Olivier Award for Best Actor in a Musical, and in the early 2000s, returned to the role of Billy Crocker in the revival of Anything Goes.
You're literally reading his Wikipedia page.
Dude, would you let me get on, please?
Sorry.
I told you last week, I copied and pasted it to the thing. But just, I deleted some stuff and shortened some stuff up to make it more streamlined.
All good.
Hold on. You deserve yourself one of these.
Will you stop interrupting me?
No.
Yes, you will. His most recent West End credit was in the 2009 production of Le Cage aux Folles.
Le Cage aux Folles.
Le Cage aux Folles.
Which, for those who don't know, was made into a motion picture in the mid-1990s, starring Robin Williams and Nathan Lane as the Birdcage.
Cool. Alongside his theatrical career, he has appeared in films such as the musical biopic De Lovely in 2004 and musical comedy The Producers. There we go. Before venturing into British television, he featured in the American television dramas Titans and Central Park West, but is better known for his acting and presenting work for the BBC. This includes his work for CBBC in its earlier years, his self-broadcast entertainment program Tonight's the Night, and his BAFTA Cymru-nominated role of Captain Jack Harkness in the 2005 revival of Doctor Who and its spin-off Torchwood. Barrowman has also had a number of guest roles in television programs, both in the US and the UK. He appeared as a contestant on the first series of the celebrity ice skating show Dancing on Ice, while his theatrical background allowed him to become a judge on Andrew Lloyd Webber's musical talent shows How Do You Solve a Problem Like Maria? Any Dream Will Do, and I'll Do Anything. With this experience, he joined the judging panel of Dancing on Ice for the 2020 to 2021 series. In 2006, he was voted Stonewall's Entertainer of the Year. He hosted the BBC One quiz show Pressure Pad in 2013 and 2014. He starred in the CW's Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow as Malcolm Merlin.
Where
He
I would
also-
say a lot of people know him from, more so than
Probably. If you don't know him from Doctor Who, you most probably know him from this.
Mhm.
Hold on, let me just get something off. There we go. CW's Arrow. He is also featured on more than 12 musical theater recordings, including cover tunes found on his 2006 album Another Side and 2008.
By the way, I have it.
Yeah, and 2008's Music. Both albums occurred on play. Who wrote that? Both albums occurred places on the UK albums chart, as did his self-titled John Barrowman in 2010, which reached number 11, his highest chart placing to date. He has published 2 memoirs and autobiographies, Anything Goes in 2008 and I Am What I Am in 2009, with his older sister Carol as co-author. The siblings also teamed up to write a series of young adult fantasy novels, the Hollow Earth series. The second book in the series, Bone Quill, was released in 2013, with the third Book of the Beasts published in 2014. A second trilogy, The Orion Chronicles, followed with The Conjurer, published in 2016, Nephilim in 2016, and Inquisitor in 2018. And of course, he's also given us this wonderful moment right here.
What do you say I take you home and eat your pussy?
What?
You did not
I've
know
never
that?
seen that.
Yeah. It's in a movie called Shark Attack 3. Do yourself a favor and do not watch it.
I wasn't going to. One of my favorite things about John Barrowman is I found this out years ago, but as you mentioned, born in Scotland, right? He actually does have a natural Irish brogue. Like how we hear him is just him basically turning off the accent. But he says that whenever he's visiting with his family or his really close friends from back home or what have you, he will start speaking in his natural Scottish brogue. Yeah.
Scottish or Irish?
One
You
of
said
them.
Irish before.
I meant Scottish the first time.
All right. Now, of course, a little bit of sad news. He is also kind of involved in a somewhat sexual harassment case.
Yes.
Not as-
With him, though, it seems like people, I don't want to say people are more forgiving, but with him, though, it's kind of.
It's not as bad as some of the other ones on this list.
Yeah, 100%. Like, basically, with him, it was just more like he would quote unquote, whip it out on set. That's basically to the extent to my knowledge.
And that's basically it. He's never denied it, and no one else claims that there was anything beyond that.
Yeah, and even like he was on a daytime talk show in November of 2021 where basically he said in regards to it, I think if it was now, it was be crossing the line. 15 years ago was body behavior. The fact it was stories I've already told, haven't hidden anything. They've tried to turn them into sexual harassment, which is absolutely not. All the people that are making a fuss about it, they weren't there. They don't know the context or things that were done. Like I said, I would never do it now. And I believe them.
Me too.
Before we move on to the next guy, though, he is also responsible for one of my favorite quotes when it comes to geekdom. And the quote is, never...
Wait. Let me guess. Is it this?
What do you say I take you home and eat your pussy?
Definitely not. No. Never apologize for being a geek because assholes never apologize for being assholes.
True. And they're the ones that should.
Yeah, that's a good life, good motto to lead your life by. Don't ever apologize for who you are.
Yeah. Hence his autobiography, I Am What I Am.
Yep. But I will say, yes, I have listened to one of his cover albums, and it is really good.
Cool. And now we're on to this guy, Mickey the Idiot, as we like to call him. Mickey Smith, played, of course, by Noel Clarke. He received critical acclaim for writing, directing, and starring in as Sam Peel in the films Kidulthood in 2006, Adulthood in 2008, and
Wait, you say kid adulthood?
Kid Adulthood. That's the thing.
Okay.
Kid Adulthood, and Brotherhood in 2016. And for starring in, co-creating, and writing Bulletproof from 2018 to 2021, which both depicted black working class characters in London. Making his film debut in I'll Sleep When I'm Dead in 2003, he has gone on to star in films including Centurion in 2010, 4321 in 2010, Fast Girl 2012, Storage 24 in 2012, Star Trek Into Darkness 2013, I Am Soldier in 2014. Shut up! I'm still reading. The Anomaly in 2014, I Kill Giants 2017, Mute 2018, 10 by 10 2018, The Corrupted 2019, Twist 2021, and SAS Red Notice 2021. Some of which he also wrote, directed, and produced. Now we can talk.
All I was to say is the only other thing I've ever seen him in was Star Trek Into Darkness. That was it.
Yeah, and he shows up for 5 minutes and blows up Starfleet.
But he's an important part of the story.
Yeah. So
and
yeah,
I remember seeing that in theaters. I'm going, man, what an idiot. Wait, Mickey. It didn't click right away who it was.
I clicked immediately off the bat.
Well, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen his face often enough. Which, curiously, he doesn't really have a lot of speaking roles in that.
Oh,
movie.
okay. Which also, that makes sense because when the movie came out was just, I was maybe a year or two into watching Who at that point.
All right.
So that's probably answered. Like, if I had seen it now, more than likely I would have recognized him right away.
Yeah, probably. In 2015, he founded the company Unstoppable Film and Television with friend and fellow actor Jason Mazza. And they have written, directed, and starred in several productions. He won the Laurence Olivier Award for Most Promising Performer in 2003, the BAFTA Orange Rising Star Award in 2009, and received the BAFTA Outstanding British Contribution to Cinema Award in 2021. The latter was suspended on April 29th, however, in the wake of allegations of verbal abuse, bullying, and sexual misconduct by 26 different women.
Mm-hmm. Which he was never charged for.
It seems to be a pattern with these guys for some reason.
Yeah, no kidding, eh? Yeah, he was never charged for them.
Yeah. I mean, that's why they're called allegations, am I right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's where all that stands right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, before we go on, he was going to the High Court to get action and seek approximately £10 million in damages from The Guardian over 8 articles to do with this. So that's where he's at right now. Basically, he's suing them for defamation.
Pretty much. So, would you consider this also a candidate?
Yes. Hey, if we're considering Adam, yes.
Well, Adam did technically travel to the future.
And she's traveled with a doctor as well. And actually been in battle with him, so...
Yeah, but I mean, she traveled across town in the TARDIS.
And she also crossed dimensions.
True.
To help the doctor. She's a companion.
Abso-freaking-lutely. Despite what Ben might think.
Yeah, you bastard.
Yeah. Now, of course, Jackie Tyler, played, of course, by Camille Kaduri. She's featured in the film comedies Hawks. Sorry, that's the T. 1988, Nuns on the Run, 1990, and King Ralph in 1991. Mm-hmm. She has also appeared extensively on British television, appearing in guest roles in episodes of series such as Rumple of the Bailey, a bit of Fry and Laurie, Boone, A Touch of Frost, and in the BBC's 1997 adaptation of Henry Fielding's novel, The History of Tom Jones, The History of Tom Jones, a Foundling. She appeared in BBC Three's 6-part drama series, Synchronicity, in 2006. She also participated in a Doctor Who themed episode of The Weakest Link, first broadcast on March 30th, 2007. She won the game, beating Noel Clark, aka Mickey Smith, in the final round, splitting the prize money of 16,550 quid or pounds, event evenly between multiple sclerosis and children who are what?
Multiple sclerosis,
Sclerosis, maybe, I don't know.
which is what Michael J. Fox has.
Doesn't he have
MS.
Parkinson?
Oh shit! Yeah, sorry. Somebody else I was thinking of who has MS. Sorry.
Well, get your fight straight.
Shut up.
She was in an episode of Ashes to Ashes in April 2010, and in September of the same year. She joined BBC Three's comedy Him and Her. In September of that year, she joined BBC comedy Him and Her. On May 15th, 2017, it was announced that she would reprise her role as Jackie Tyler in the Doctor Who Big Finish Productions audio infamy of the Zaros, which was released on November 23rd, 2017. She also reprises her role as Jackie Tyler in the Big Finish audio's Wednesdays for Beginners, part of The Lives of Captain Jack, Retail Therapy, part of the Ninth Doctor Chronicles, The Siege of Big Ben, and Flight into Hull, part of the Short Trips range. She's also the narrator of the Ninth Doctor audiobooks, The Monsters Inside, The Stealers of Dreams, Winner Takes All, and of course the novelization of Rose, released in 2018, as well as the 10th Doctor novelization of The Christmas Invasion, produced by BBC Audio. Some of her other TV credits include Nelson's Column from 1994 to 1995, Family in 2003, Edge of Heaven to 2014, King Gary 2018 to 2021, and The Curse and Big Boys, both in 2022. And of course, she recently came into the recently released Diary of River Song series, Battling the Crotons.
Really?
It's like Big Finish released a set image of her and Alex Kingston standing next to a small figurine of a croton, and everyone in the Facebook group were like, oh, they're finally teaming up. Yeah, Jackie Tyler and River Song, and then this idiot right here is like, oh, look, a croton.
Nice.
Because that's the kind of guy I am.
Yep. No, that's I didn't know that. Camille Kadari, up until last year, I could honestly say the only thing I'd ever seen her in was Doctor Who until I actually watched King Ralph last year. I actually enjoyed that movie. Sorry?
And I do remember seeing her in another show, just don't remember which one it was. Might have been one of the ones that I mentioned, but I cannot for the life of me remember which one it was.
You know, she's actually really good in that movie, and what I love is the premise. Basically, the reason why John Goodman became King of England is because he's the last descendant. All the others died in a freak electrical accident. But not only is she in it, but also Richard Griffiths, who played Vernon Dudley, and a certain war doctor as well.
Yeah,
John Hurt was also in the film. Highly recommend go watching it. It's definitely worth the time.
And going back into Doctor Who, highly recommend the audio novelization of The Rose, or just the novel in general. But I mean, it really adds a lot when it's narrated by her.
Usually does.
Turns out she's a huge Who fan, bigger than her on-screen daughter.
Cool.
Go figure, am I right?
Yeah, right.
Moving on to someone who was very admittedly not a Doctor Who fan prior to being on Doctor Who, the legendary Catherine Tate, who of course played Donna Noble, and oh boy, one of, if not the longest list of credits of the entire.
Oh, yeah, sure. Her career, while not the biggest post Who, is definitely nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah.
probably, before I know you're going to read the list, but easily her biggest one was The American Office.
In
terms of the broader pop culture.
Well, in America, maybe.
Yeah. Well, in America, yeah.
Yeah, because let me read this.
Huge across the pond. I know that.
Because let me read this out. You might find this a bit shocking here. Okay, so from 1988 to 1990, she toured with the National Youth Theatre production of Blood Wedding, which also starred Daniel Craig and Jessica Haynes. In 1994, she got a part in All My Sons. She then worked at the Royal National Theatre, playing small roles in The Way of the World, 1995, and The Prince's Play in 1996. She also performed with the Royal Shakespeare Company during its 10th-month tour across the UK, Australia, and the US with Lee Hall's adaptation of The Servant of Two Masters between 2000 and 2001. Her television acting career began with roles in serial dramas such as The Bill and London's Burning. Her debut happened in an episode of the sitcom Surgical Spirit in 1991. In 1996, she began performing stand-up comedy. Soon after, she co-wrote and starred in Barking in 1998, a late-night sketch show broadcast on Channel 4. In 2000, she became involved with Lee Mack's Perrier Comedy Award-winning New Bits show at the Edinburgh Film Festival and appeared in television sketches shows such as The Harry Hill Show and That Peter Kay Thing. The next year, she returned to the festival with her own Sell Out one-woman show, which was followed by roles in comedy series Big Train, Attention Scum, Charlie Brooker's TV Go Home, and several BBC radio productions. After being spotted at Edinburgh by a casting director, she was given her first major television role, I should say, in the comedy Wild West in 2002 all the way to 2004. She became pregnant before filming the first series and had to wear a lot of baggy clothes in the role, similar to Elaine in Seinfeld on a couple of occasions. She was given her own program on BBC Two in 2004, which she co-wrote and starred in, entitled The Catherine Tate Show, which ran for 3 series. What?
The great appearance, I think it's pre her joining Who, of David Tennant.
Yes.
Great scene. I love that. I love to watch that.
2 of the show's well-known characters are teenager Lauren Cooper and Joni Nan Taylor, the Cockney grandmother. She won a British Comedy Award for Best Comedy Newcomer for her work on the first series of The Catherine Tate Show. And with the first series becoming a success in March 2005, she made a guest appearance during the BBC's Red Nose Day as the character of Lauren alongside boy band McFly, which gained her further exposure. In November 2005, she appeared in another charity sketch as part of the BBC's annual Children in Need telethon. The segment was a crossover between EastEnders and The Catherine Tate Show. She later won a British Comedy Award for British Comedy Actress for her work in the second series of The Catherine Tate Show. In January 2005, she appeared in the ITV adaptation of Agatha Christie's novel A Murder is Announced. She returned to the stage for the first time since working with the Royal Shakespeare Company to play a role in the original West End production of Some Girls in 2005, alongside Sarah Powell, Leslie Manville, Saffron Burrows, and David Schwimmer. She had roles in 3 films in 2006. These included Starter for 10, starring James McAvoy, 66, starring Helena Bonham Carter and Eddie Marsan, and scenes of a sexual nature. She later appeared in the films Mrs. Radcliffe's Revolution and Love and Other Disasters. Also starred in the television adaptation of the best-selling novel The Bad Mother's Handbook. On March 16th, 2007, she appeared for a second time on the Red Nose Day telethon as some of her well-known characters from the Catherine Tate Show. She acted in sketches with David Tennant, her fellow National Youth Theater alumni Daniel Craig, Lenny Henry, and the then Prime Minister Tony Blair. She went on to make her directorial debut in Sky One series of short comedy films called Little Crackers. The autobiographical short film My First Nativity in 2010 was also written by her and starred her. On Christmas Day 2010, she appeared as Queen Isabel of Lilliput in the film adaptation of Gulliver's Travels, starring Jack Black. She then starred opposite Selena Gomez in another American comedy film, Monte Carlo, in 2011. In December 2011, she presented Channel 4's 2-hour documentary, Catherine Tate, Laughing at the Naughties. It was soon after she served as a guest host on the comedy shows The Saturday Night Project in 2009 and Nevermind the Buzzcocks in 2010. From 2011, she became a regular cast member on the American version of The Office, right up until the show's final episode. She appeared in the BBC One sitcom Big School in 2013-2014, and then in the low-budget superhero comedy Super Bob in 2015. She went on to play alongside Mark Gatiss and Judi Dench in The Vote, a James Graham play set on election night 2015. In October 2017, she was added to the cast of Disney XD's DuckTales reboot, providing the voice of the villainous sorceress Magica Dispel alongside David Tennant as the voice of Scrooge McDuck. In 2020, she revived her popular character Lauren Cooper for The Big Night In, a television held during COVID-19 pandemic. She also starred in the Nan movie in 2022, based on one of her characters from the Catherine Tate show. In 2023, she will be returning to the role of Donna Noble for Doctor Who's 60th anniversary special, as well as starring in the upcoming Queen of Oz, as well. And she was the UK jury spokesperson in the finale for the Eurovision 2023 Song Contest,
which has to do with Doctor Who, I'd assume.
What, the Eurovision?
Well, her being on there, I would have to assume it has to do with her being in Doctor Who coming up.
Or they needed a big name, and she really wanted to do it. I don't know. So, anything besides The Office that pops out to you here?
No. Now, here's the thing about The Office. She was originally the first choice to replace Steve Carell.
The wiki does say that, but I did.
However, because of her schedule, she couldn't do it, but she did join in as a series regular, like you said, towards the end of season 8, season 9. I think she was a breath of fresh air in the show. Great stuff. Especially how she ends up adopting children by the end of the series. It's revealed one of them might be stolen. That is besides the point.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Catherine Tate is incredibly funny. If you haven't seen any of her sketch stuff, definitely go. I don't know what it's called, but definitely check out the one where Tennant appears as was it English teacher or the science teacher? English. Because she's always
English.
She's always giving him crap throughout the sketch about that's not proper English. But doesn't she also ask him if he's the doctor? Or am I thinking of something else?
She's like, "Are you the doctor?"
And he's yeah. And then at the end, they hinted that he actually is the doctor.
And then he uses the sonic screwdriver and transforms her into Rose, saying, and do an action figure of Rose, saying, "A rose by any other name would sever sweet."
Yeah, definitely go check it out, guys. It's really good.
Now, I'm assuming you don't know much about the actress who played my favorite modern companion, right?
Well, before you continue, can I tell you where I recognize her from? She was in the Sex and the City prequel, The Carrie Diaries. She also had an appearance in, I want to say it was Star Wars Force Awakens.
Yeah, she's on the planet to get blown up.
And she was in one other thing that I can't name it off the top of my head, but I know she was in one other decently sized thing.
Yeah, she was played the character of Corsella in The Force Awakens, character who's pretty big in that era of Star Wars if you actually get into the novel and such.
Yeah, but
And
the
she's
movie
only on
for, like, what, 10 seconds?
yeah, she's only on screen for like 10 seconds on Hosnian Prime when it gets blown up.
Yeah.
Which still upsets me to this very day. I mean,
Basically,
freaking
for those who
this
don't
guy
know-
got more screen time on Star Trek Into Darkness than she got in The Force Awakens.
And so for those of you who don't know names of planets and shit like that, but you've seen The Force Awakens, she is on the planet that is used as a demonstration to show the Starkiller base is operational. Basically, she's the face you see as the beam is coming to kill the planet.
Yeah, Hosnian Prime.
Yeah, but not everyone knows the name of the planets, 50. Sometimes you got to dub it down.
Do? Yeah. Who doesn't know the character of Corsella? Which, you know, if you read the books, she was kind of a dead woman walking anyway, so whatever.
See, I don't know the character Corsella.
And now you do. Well, now you know, now you know.
Oh dear God. Now you know.
Okay, so Martha Jones, of course, played by the lovely Freema Agyeman. She rose to fame with her role as the Doctor's companion, Martha Jones, in the BBC science fiction series Doctor
Sorry.
Who.
Did not mean to do that. I am so sorry.
What happened?
I accidentally clicked on the webpage, but I didn't realize the browser was over the layout thing. Sorry.
What webpage? What did you? What happened?
I clicked my mouse on this page that's on my screen, but I didn't realize when I did it that the icon was over this.
Oh, well, thank you.
It was a technical error.
In other words, I think you earned yourself another one of these. Right, so I'm going to read the whole thing again. She rose to fame with her role as the Doctor's companion, Martha Jones, in the BBC science fiction series Doctor Who, regularly appearing from 2007 all the way to 2010, and its spin-off show Torchwood in 2008, and received further recognition for playing Crown Processor Alicia Phillips in the ITV crime procedural Law and Order UK from 2008 and 9, to 2012. Amanita Kaplan in the Netflix science fiction drama Sense8 from 2015-2018, and Dr. Helen Sharp in the NBC medical drama New Amsterdam from 2018 to 2022. Following her departure from Doctor Who, she reprised her role as Martha Jones in the Doctor Who spin-off series Torchwood, and had a part as Taddy Coram in the BBC period miniseries Little Dorrit, both in 2008. In 2013, she made her U.S. television debut in the CW's Sex and the City prequel series, The Carrie Diaries, as magazine editor Larissa Laughlin. Her other television appearances include Mile High in 2005, Bizarre ER in 2008, and Dreamland in 2023. She has also appeared in films including North v South in 2015, East Local in 2017, and The Matrix Resurrections in 2021. So that was a relatively short one after the massive blowout that was the 2.5-page thing for Catherine Tate.
Yeah, I know Freema Agyeman, she's been in some big stuff, but she doesn't have, compared to some of the other ones, she doesn't have as big of a filmography.
It is a possibility she might be returning to Doctor Who pretty soon.
Yeah.
So,
and sorry, did you mention that she was in The Matrix? Which I haven't seen.
yeah, that was the last thing I said.
Did you? Sorry, have you seen it? I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either. No,
Yeah,
I'm not a big Matrix fan. Never have
Me
been.
neither. I've watched the first one, I think, like 3 times, but the first time was against my will. But yeah,
Same here, and that's why I don't like it as much.
It's not that. It's just when I'm actually very hit or miss when it comes to science fiction. It's not my favorite genre.
You do realize what kind of show this is, right?
No, that's why I say hit or miss. Like
The
Doctor
greatest show in the
Who,
galaxy.
Star Wars, Star Trek.
Star Wars is more fantasy, but okay.
But same freaking wheelhouse in a way. I don't know. It's just it has to hit me for me to like science fiction. It's just other than that, I'm more of a, I guess, comedy guy.
All right, so now we're kind of done with the main companions. Now we got a couple of the 10th Doctor companions from the specials, and yes, we are going to cover all of them. Well, isn't it nice that we went from probably one of the longest ones to one of the shorter ones, and now, of course, we're back to another long one with, of course, Kylie Minogue as.
To give you an idea how long her career has been spanning, her career started when the Seventh Doctor was still on the air.
Well, so was Catherine Tate's. When you think about it,
wait, Catherine Tate's started
in the hold on, let me go back in the breakdown.
I must have missed the date thing.
Well, it shows how much you listened.
Hey, I caught everything else. It's okay if I miss a date here.
She was in the National Theater from 1988 to 1990 in the production of Blood Wedding.
Right, but that's nothing compared to Kylie Minogue, who already was an international pop sensation because of her cover of The Locomotion.
Sure. And I kind of wish I had the thing on right now, but you. Oh no, there it is. Actually, there it is. You're telling this story, all right.
Proceed.
Thanks you. Okay, so Astrid Peth, as played by Kylie Minogue. She first achieved recognition starring in the Australian soap opera Neighbours. She gained prominence as a recording artist in the late 80s and released 4 studio albums. By the early 1990s, she had amassed several top 10 singles in the UK and Australia, including I Should Be So Lucky, The Locomotion, Hand on Your Heart, and Better the Devil You Know. Taking more
she covered Better the Devil You Know?
I mean, Wikipedia doesn't lie, right?
I thought it was only Sonia that did that one.
No, apparently not. So, taking more creative control over her music, she signed with Deconstruction Records in 1993, the year I was born, and released Kylie Minogue in 1994 and Impossible Princess in 1997, both of which received positive reviews. She returned to mainstream dance-oriented music with 2000's Light Years, no relation to Buzz Lightyear, including the number one hits, Spinning Around and On a Night Like This. The follow-up, Fever, in 2001 was an international breakthrough for her, becoming her best-selling album to date. 2 of its singles, Love at First Sight and In Your Eyes, became hits, but its lead single, Can't Get You Out of My Head, became one of the most successful singles of the 2000s, selling over 5 million units.
Yep. This is where I first became aware of Kylie Minogue, was this single right here, Can't Get You Out of My Head. It was everywhere.
So basically what you're saying is people couldn't get it out of their heads.
Basically. I honestly don't know if you've actually heard the song or not. It's pretty freaking catchy.
I have.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of impossible not to, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so she continued reinventing her image and experimenting with a range of genres on her subsequent albums, which spawned successful singles such as Slow, Two Hearts, All the Lovers, Santa Baby, Time Bomb, and Dancing. With her 2020 album Disco, she became the first female artist to have a chart-topping album in the UK for 5 consecutive decades.
Mm-hmm.
She made her film debut in The Delinquents in 1989 and portrayed Cammy in Street Fighter in 1994.
Yep.
Yeah. She has also appeared in films in the films Moulin Rouge, Holy Motors, and San Andreas. Lost my place there. Moulin Rouge 2001, Holy Motors 2012, and San Andreas 2015. In 2014, she appeared as a judge on the 3rd series of The Voice UK and The Voice Australia. Her other ventures include product endorsements, children's books, fashion, and charitable work. She was appointed an officer of the British Empire in the 2008 New Year honors for services to music. She was appointed by the French government as Chevalier also known as Knight, of the Ordre des Arts at this Lettres. Really butchered that one, but yeah, for her contribution to the enrichment of French culture. While touring in 2005, she was diagnosed with breast cancer.
I was going to bring that up if you didn't.
Well, apparently you didn't have to. She was awarded an honorary Doctor of Health Science (DHSC) degree by Angela Ruskin University in 2012 for her work in raising awareness for breast cancer. At the 2012 ARIA Music Awards, she was inducted by the Australian Recording Industry Association into the ARIA Hall of Fame. Why put the acronym, then the full word, and then the acronym again? It makes no sense.
People are weird.
Damn it, Wikipedia. She was appointed Officer of the Order of Australia, or AO, in the 2019 Australia Day Honours. I'm pretty sure I didn't say anything you didn't already know, but...
Basically, you touch across everything. Kylie Minogue is one of those celebrities that was big before she went on Who, and just as big as she went on afterwards. From everything I heard, she is a good person. Can't speak highly enough of her. Her career has been around as long as I have.
Pretty much, yeah. And way before I did.
So, needless to say, when I found out she was in the episode of Who, I was ecstatic. And I do wish, and I know you and me just discussed this, I wish she was more than a one-off.
Yeah, me too. But I think the reason she is as big of a personality as she is the reason why she was a one-off. Because up until the very emotional death scene and the confirmation of death scene, if you like to call it that way, it almost looked like she was going to be a recurring companion.
Yeah, like he actually saved her. But alas.
Yeah, but, I mean, Russell wouldn't even give us that one, wouldn't he?
No, Kylie Minogue, man. She's an Australian national treasure.
I was going to say that. I was going to bring up that word. And speaking of national treasures, David Morrissey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like the last two were for our good friend in the front row. We got Kylie Minogue and now David Morrissey.
Yes. Now, before you continue, can I reveal what other role he is famous for?
Aside from the governor?
That's who I was going to bring up was the governor.
I gotcha!
Well, I mean, he's one of those, he's got a really good body of work, but I mean, like, he's really known, like, at this point, you ask anybody with a base knowledge, you're like, oh, it's the governor.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's where, in the front row, we'll probably recognize him from.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Now, moving into his filmography, I should probably bring up his image again. Where you go? There it is. Okay, so he made his on-screen acting debut in the drama series One Summer in 1983, at the age of 18, and subsequently receiving training at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts before performing with the Royal Shakespeare Company and National Theatre for years. Now, going back into what we said earlier about Kylie Minogue, who's been famous since Seventh Doctor, this is basically the year of the 5 Doctors. Put that into perspective.
Damn.
He was often typecast as authority figures such as policemen and soldiers throughout the 90s due to his tall stature and authoritative voice, breaking his trend with his roles in Our Mutual Friend and in Hillary and Jackie, both in 1998. He then appeared in Some Voices in 2000 and Captain Corell's Mandolin in 2001.
Captain Corelli's Mandolin.
Oh yeah, Corelli. I missed the I there. Before playing critically acclaimed roles in State of Play and The Deal, both in 2003. The former earned him a Best Actor nomination at the British Academy Television Awards, while the latter won him a Best Actor award from the Royal Television Society. He also played Jackson Lake in the Doctor Who special The Next Doctor in 2008. In the years following those films, he had roles in The Reaping in 2007, Sense and Sensibility 2008, Red Riding 2009, Nowhere Boy 2009 also.
I love that movie.
Centurion 2010, and Dampier in 2022. He also produced and starred in the crime drama throne in 2010. He returned to the stage in 2008 for a run of Mille Lebut's in a dark house, and played the title role in the Liverpool Everyman production of Macbeth in 2011. He also starred in the British crime film Blitz in 2012. He later portrayed the governor in the third and fourth and fifth seasons of the AMC horror drama series The Walking Dead. There you go, in the front row, from 2012 to 2015. He has directed short films and the television dramas Sweet Revenge in 2001 and Passerby in 2004. His feature-length directorial debut, Don't Worry About Me, premiered at the 2009 London Film Festival and was broadcast on BBC television in 2010. He was awarded an honorary doctorate by Edge Hill University in
doctorate.
2016. What?
Doctorate.
It doesn't really say.
Oh, okay.
That was weird.
I thought you mispronounced doctorate.
I'm pretty sure I didn't. No. Doctorate. Yeah, honorary doctorate by Edge Hill.
Okay, I heard it as something else. I'm sorry.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
What has you to say about David Morrissey?
Really nothing that I can add. Like, great actor, great body of work. Just unfortunately,
Great body too.
Yeah. It's just unfortunately with his type of work, he will not be known outside of probably Doctor Who and The Walking Dead, with the exception of film fans, of course. But no, he's a good actor. He was really good as Jackson Lake in The Next Doctor.
Yeah, and I mean, you weren't a Doctor Who fan at the time, but there was legitimately a time when people believed he was the next Doctor.
I read that. Going back and doing my reading back in the day, I came across that. You know what? I wouldn't have been upset.
You would have been a really good Doctor, I think.
Yeah, you would have, yeah.
Of course, I wouldn't trade Matt Smith for anything in the world.
Oh, 100%. Like, I wouldn't have traded what we got either. But that's not to say he wouldn't have made like a good 15th Doctor or something, right?
Yeah. And speaking of his Doctor, he also technically had a companion as well, in the form of Rosita Farisi, played, of course, by Vili Chabalala.
I say that 3 times fast.
Really hope I said it correctly the first time.
Hey,
5 times.
That actually sounds like another character name from Village of the Damned. Voyage of the Damned, sorry.
Yeah. Banacafalata. Okay,
that guy.
so.
Can I call you Bala for short? No, Balacalafadara.
No, Banacafalata. Okay, so thankfully this is a short one. She made her professional debut at the age of 18 in the CBBC sitcom Kershing! ! She played several roles in all 3 series of the BBC 3 sketch comedy Titty Bang Bang. That's literally what it says. I laughed out as well. She appeared as a prostitute in the 2004 short film Streets in January 2008. She appeared in a Chucklevision episode. She played Rosita in that year's Doctor Who Christmas special, The Next Doctor. She made her pantomime debut in the 2008 production of Dick Whittington's Cat at the Compass Theatre in Ickenham. In 2011, she very briefly appeared in the penultimate episode of Series 3 of the E4 series Misfits. In July 2014, she completed filming on the feature film The Journey. In November 2021, it was announced that she had been cast in the Channel 4 soap opera Hollyoaks. In February 2022, she starred
I've actually heard of Hollyoaks.
You did?
Yeah, it's sort of the only thing you've mentioned for her that I've actually heard of.
Cool. In February 2022, she starred as Gloria in Running with Lions at the Link Theatre, the Lyric Theatre in London. And that's about it.
I mean, yeah, like I said, outside of Hollyoaks, I've heard of nothing of her.
Well, some actors have bigger careers than others.
Yeah.
Also, this picture, by the way, is from.
It's from Wikipedia. I saw that when I quickly went to take a
No,
look.
no, I mean it's from the Doctor Who 50th anniversary convention.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, like I said, some actors have bigger careers than others. Probably not gonna have the similar career with this next one, right?
I'd say after starting two more after her, I'd say almost everybody has pretty big careers. Now, she had a career prior to this.
Yeah, but I mean, her career really exploded after
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah, but you don't hear much from her anymore.
Maybe you will once I finish reading.
Okay.
So, the companion Lady Christina de Souza, played, of course, by the lovely Michelle Ryan, a member of a local theater group since she was 10. She was picked for her role in EastEnders when she was 16 and first appeared on the show in September 2000. She left the series in June 2005. During summer 2005, she appeared in a run of Who's the Daddy at the King's Head Theater. She had a small role in an episode of Agatha Christie's Marple, which screened in February 2006, and also appeared in a small independent film the same year called Cashback. In early 2007, she was seen in Mansfield Park Arc opposite Billy Piper for ITV, and also in the film I Want Candy, co-starring, I should say, Carmen Electra and Mackenzie Crook.
Crook, I love him.
In 2007, it was announced that she had been cast as the lead in the drama Bionic Woman, a remake of the 1970s series. The show began airing in the United States on the broadcast network NBC in September 2007. On Red Nose Day 2007, she appeared in a Mr. Bean sketch written and recorded for Comic Relief. In late 2007, she appeared in Flick, a Welsh independent film co-starring Faye Dunaway and Leslie Phillips. Prior to Bionic Woman, she appeared in Jekyll for BBC, a modern-day version of The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, starring James Nesbitt. It began its 6-episode run on 16th of June 2007 and was released on DVD in the United States on September 18th that same year, 1 week prior to her debut in Bionic Woman. She has also appeared as the sorceress Nimue in the BBC drama series Merlin. She also filmed an ITV romantic drama, Mr. 11, in 2008. She starred in a one-off drama for BBC Scotland, One Night in Emergency. Also in 2009, she filmed 4321 alongside the aforementioned Noel Clarke. She starred in a stage production of The Talented Mr. Ripley at the Royal Theatre in Northampton until 9th of October 2010. In October 2010, she completed filming the terrorist thriller Clean Skin. That same year, she appeared in the comedy film Huge. She also appeared in Cockneys vs. Zombies, a comedy horror film about a team of bank robbers fighting the undead. The film
that was confusing to listen to.
Yeah. The film was released in September 2012. For the final months of 2012, she toured in a production of Cabaret. This production also played in London's West End. In 2018, she began reprising her Doctor Who role as Lady Christina in her own Big Finish Productions spin-off audio drama series, alongside some other regular appearances here and there. So, yeah.
Nice. Like I said, I obviously I knew about the Bionic Woman and her Doctor Who stuff, but outside of that, it seems like she's like I looked at her IMDb. She's had steady work, but it's nothing of note like earlier in her career. So that's why I say like I haven't heard of her in years.
If you want to hear her, go on Big Finish.
There you go.
I mean, there's some good episodes of her. I mean,
no, I'm not denying it, but I'm talking outside of Doctor Who.
I mean, if you want more Michelle Ryan in your life, that's where to go. Yeah, that's the place to go. I mean, she meets Donna's mother at one of those audios. She battles Slitheen's. She goes up against Unit. She fights Sontarans. Like, there's some really good stuff with the Lady Christina series on big finish. Just saying.
Oh, I believe you.
Believe me. All right. So, Lindsay Duncan, who of course played the character of Adelaide Brooke in The Waters of Mars. She appeared in two small roles in Moliere's Don Juan at the Hampstead Theatre in 1976. Going back into what we said earlier about being active during certain Doctor time periods, this was when Tom Baker was still around.
Jesus.
And I'll tell you something else. This was back when Sarah Jane was still the companion.
Damn.
Yeah, before the introduction of Leela. All right. And then she joined the Royal Exchange Theatre, Manchester, when it opened. She performed in the first productions at the Royal Exchange and appeared in 8 plays in Manchester in the next 2 years. In 1978, she returned to London in Plenty by David Hare at the National. She appeared on television in small roles and in a special episode of Up Pompeii, in The New Avengers, the British version, and the commercial for Head and Shoulders shampoo. That's random. She made her breakthrough on Top Girls by Carol Churchill, and I checked. They didn't really see any relation to the Churchill that much. Staged at the Royal Court in London and later transferred to the Public Theatre in New York. The following year, she took her first major role on film in Richard Ayer's Loose Connections. At the same time, her television work included a filmed version of Frederick Lonsdale's On Approval, 1982, Riley, Ace of Spades, 1983, and Deadhead, 1985. In 1985, she joined the Royal Shakespeare Company for the production of Troilus and Cressida, in which she played Helen of Troy.
Nice.
In September, she created the role of Marquis de Merteuil in Les Liaisons de Dangerous.
Yeah. Also, Liaison Dangereux, which relates to naturally dangerous liaisons, which was so you're talking about the movie, or was she in the play?
Play. She created the role for the play.
So there's a movie version of it. If I remember correctly, John Malkovich is in it.
Yes, if you just allow me to keep reading. For her performance, she was nominated for a Tony and won the Olivier Award for Best Actress and a Theatre World Award. She was replaced by Glenn Close for Dangerous Liaisons, the film version. Similarly, John Malkovich was selected for the role of Valmont instead of her co-star. Drum roll, please. Alan Rickman.
Nice.
Yeah. This is what happens when you let me talk.
I'm sorry, I get bored with not talking sometimes.
I'm sorry I'm boring you. I already apologized enough. In 1994 to 1995, she performed for a second season with the RSC in A Midsummer Night's Dream. Impressed by her performance in David Mamet's The Cryptogram in 1994, Al Pacino asked her to play the role of his wife in City Hall in 1996.
Cool.
To please her young son, this will break you, okay? This will break you. To please her young son, who is a Star Wars fan, she applied for the role of Anakin Skywalker's mother in The Phantom Menace, 1999, but instead she was cast as the protocol droid TC-14.
Yeah, so which droid was this?
The one in the beginning, the first one you see. The silver protocol droid.
That's her when we first meet Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon.
Yeah,
that's her.
Yeah, she welcomes Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon to the station.
Right on.
And strictly speaking, the first droid I actually knew. It's a long and complicated story. I'll tell you on an occasion.
That story for another time.
Yeah. She reunited with Alan Rickman in a revival of Noel Crawford's Private Lives in 2001-2002, and won a Tony Award for Best Actress and a second Olivier Award for her performance. Sorry, the hiccups. The Star Wars thing really got me. Okay, so she appeared in the 2005 HBO BBC series Rome and starred in Starter for 10 in February 2009. She played British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher in Margaret. In November 2009, she played Adelaide Brooke, companion of the Doctor, in the second of the 2009 Doctor Who specials. She played Alice's mother in Tim Burton's 2010 film Alice in Wonderland, alongside Mia Wasikowska, Johnny Depp, and Helena Bonham Carter. She also starred in the original London run of the play That Face at the Royal Court, co-starring Matt Smith. She narrated the Matt Lucas and David Williams 2010 and 2011 Fly on the Wall mockumentary series Come Fly With Me on the BBC. She appeared in The Sinking of the Laconia in 2011. She also played the mother of Matt Smith in the telefilm Christopher and His Kind. In October/November 2011, she read extracts of at the National Theatre in London as part of the 400th anniversary celebrations of the translation. She also appeared in The National Anthem, the first episode of Black Mirror. She starred in 2012 as a guest in the New Year's special of Absolutely Fabulous. In February, she returned to the West End in Hay Fever. Later in 2012, she was featured in BBC Two's production of Shakespeare's history plays. She played the Duchess of York in the first film, Richard II, with David Suchet as the Duke of York and Patrick Stewart as John of Gaunt. In October 2014, Duncan appeared in the revival of Edward Albee's A Delicate Balance on Broadway. That year, she also appeared in the film Birdman, or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance, which won the Academy Award for Best Picture. And that is what I mostly know her from outside of Doctor Who.
I don't know her actually out of anything, and I forgot. I've only seen Birdman once, and I didn't realize that she was even in it.
I saw Birdman once also, and she was a pretty memorable part. She's kind of the villain of the movie, in a way.
It shows you how long ago it's been since I've seen the movie.
When it aired, probably.
When it came out on home video.
Yeah, aired. Dang it. But yeah, more or less the same for me. But I mean, it's a pretty good movie. You should go watch it.
No, it is. It's just for me. It's just it's not rewatchable.
I was talking to the audience. Because you've already seen it clearly and very much. So, are you ready for this, Soda? Because I don't think I am.
Yeah. Can I just bring up a GIF to show people who we're going to be talking about? I did add one. You're going to love it.
I was thinking, I thought you were going to bring up the other GIF.
That's the one I was going to go with until I saw that one.
I love you.
Yeah.
So, Bernard Cribbins. I mean, we've been talking about when some of these actors have been active. This guy's basically been active since William Hartnell.
Yeah.
And still around during David Tennant's second run as the Doctor. Kind of.
Long time.
Wilfred Mott, played, of course, by the late, great Bernard Cribbins. Mm-hmm. He made his first West End theater appearance in 1956 at the Arts Theatre, playing the two Dromius in A Comedy of Errors, and co-starred in the first West End production of Not Now, Darling, There Goes the Bride, and Run for Your Wife. Have you ever seen A Comedy of Errors, by the way?
Can't say I've heard of it, but I can't say I have.
I have. I've seen a funny as hell.
Nice.
Yeah, especially once you actually realize what the errors are actually.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Okay, so in 1960 he starred a- and another thing by Ted Dix and Miles Rudge. The show brought him to the attention of Parlophone head George Martin, who signed him to the label to record a single of a satirical song from the show titled "Folk Song." Subsequently, Rudge and Dix were asked to provide new material for him. Their compositions, "The Hole in the Ground" and "Right Said Fred."
Hey,
Wait,
everyone, I'm sure everyone might not recognize the name, might said Fred, but everyone knows their song. Relax, don't do it if you want to get through it. Or yeah,
this is "Right Said Fred." You said "Might Said Fred."
Yeah, right said Fred.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a confusion there. So both of these were top 10 hits on the UK singles chart in 1962. Still a year before the show came out, by the way. The third.
Sorry, it's not. I got the song wrong, but you do know the song. It is "I'm Too Sexy."
For my shirt.
Before my shirt. Yeah, it's right. Said Fred. Sorry, I was thinking of another band that had a one-hit wonder around the same time.
Yeah, I'm too sexy for this video. Okay, so the third and final Cribbin single of the year, "Gossip Calypso," written by Trevor Peacock, was another top 30 hit. He appeared in films from the early 50s, mainly comedies. His credits include Two-Way Stretch. What?
Makes sense.
Yeah. His credits include Two-Way Stretch, 1960, The Wrong Arm of the Law, 1963, with Peter Sellers, Crooks in Cloisters, 1964, and three Carry On films, Carry On Jack in 63, Carry On Spying in 64, and Carry On Columbus in 92. I didn't get the jump either.
Wow.
His other appearances include the second Doctor Who film, Daleks Invasion Earth, 2150 AD in 1966 as Tom Campbell, She in 1965, Casino Royale 1967, The Railway Children 1970, and the Alfred Hitchcock thriller Frenzy in 1972. His later films include Dangerous Davies, The Last Detective in 1981, Black Ball in 2003, Run for Your Wife 2012, and Run for Your Wife 2012.
Time out for a second. Just the Carry On films. I quickly just looked them up. So there's a reason for a gap. So there's 31 movies in total in that series. So he was in the final one, and he was also in the 8th and 9th one. So that explains the gap. There is about 20 in there.
Yeah, about 20 movies gap.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was the MCU before the MCU.
78, and then the final one was 92, which is the last one he was in. Proceed.
Good to know. He was the narrator of the British animated children's television The Wombles from 1973 to 1975, and also played the character of the Water Rat in a BBC radio adaptation of The Wind in the Willows. He was the celebrity storyteller in more episodes of Jackanory than any other personality, with a total of 114 appearances between 1966 and 1991. He also narrated the audio tape of the Antonia Barber book, The Mousehole Cat. From 1974 to 1976, he narrated Simon in the Land of the Chalk Drawings. In the 1960s, he provided the voice of the character Tuffy in ROSPA road safety films. He also provided the voice of Busby, the talking cartoon bird that was the mascot for the post office.
Oh, interesting.
He also appeared in advertisements for Hornby model trains in 1978. He provided one of two voices in the electricity safety public information film play Safe in 1981. Music for Pleasure released a Swallows and Amazon's audiobook on tape cassette read by him. He also provided the voiceover work for A Passion for Angling in 1993. In 1996, he played in the BBC radio adaptation of C.S. Lewis's The Silver Chair. In 2013, he appeared in the radio adaptation of Neverwhere. And in 2015, he was among an ensemble cast in an audio production of The Jungle Book, in which he played the White Cobra.
Ooh.
Which
I remember White Cobra. I remember that character.
I also don't remember a White Cobra in that book, and I actually read the book. He was the star of the ITV series Cribbins in 1969-1970. His other TV appearances include The Avengers, the British version, of course, Faulty Towers.
Wait, really?
Would you let me read, please?
Yes, keep going.
Faulty
Am I not allowed to give out exclamations? So am I supposed to be quiet the whole time?
How about this? If I think that there's something that you might know and can contribute, I'll pause and let you talk. Okay. So that way we won't have to save it for the end of a person's breakdown, and you get all kinds of things messy in your head.
Okay.
As we go. All right. So he was in Faulty Towers in 1975 as the spoon salesman, Mr. Hutchinson, who is mistaken for by Basil Fawlty for a hotel inspector.
I don't remember this episode.
Maybe it's worth a rewatch then.
Maybe because like the Germans is one of the best, but I don't remember this episode. Huh.
Weird. So he was also in Wurzel Gummidge in 1980, which, by the way, that's John Pertwee, Wurzel Gummidge. Shillenbury Tales, 1980, and its spin-off Cuffy in 1983. Besides voicing the Wombles, he was also a regular on BBC Children's Television in the 1970s as host of performance panel Game Star Turn and Star Turn Challenge. These programs concluded with him narrating a detective story as recurring character Ivor Notion. He starred in the BBC's 1975 Christmas production of The Great Groovy Horse, a rock opera based on the story of the Trojan Horse, shown on BBC Two. He regularly appeared on BBC TV's The Good Old Days, recreating songs made famous by the great stars of music hall. Among his later TV appearances were Dalziel and Pasco, 1999, Last of the Summer Wine, 2003, Coronation Street, 2003 also, and Down to Earth in 2005. He starred as Jack in the series Old Jack's Boat, set in Staithes, and broadcast on the CB's channel, starring in 2013. His later theater credits include Guys and Dolls at the National Theater, Anything Goes at the Prince Edward Theater, My Fair Lady at the Houston Opera House, Texas, and Lady Be Good at the Regent's Park Open Air Theater and on tour. He also appeared in numerous pantomimes. He appeared in the BBC CB's Proms number 11 and number 13 at the Royal Albert Hall on Saturday 26th and Sunday the 27th of July 2014. Quite the career for this guy.
So I did a little bit more research on the Carry On. You'll be interested to know this. Appearing in 4 small roles. Oh, did I just already lose him in here? Appearing in 4 small roles, such as the Soothsayer in Carry On Cleo, Dr. Fettle in Carry On Screaming, Sheriff Earp in Carry On Cowboy, and returning in Carry On Columbus as the Duke of Costa Brava, John Pertwee.
So before we carry on with the list, um, did you look up the episode of the Faulty
Yeah,
Tower?
I did, and that's why I did that exclamation face, because I actually do know this episode, but I'm so used. My perception of Bernard Cribbins is as an old man, so it didn't connect with me at first until I saw the picture.
Cool. Now, one thing that I got to pull on Audible here is that he was in, before he was Wilfred Mott, or right around the same time, he was in one of the Paul McGann Big Finish episodes from the 8 Doctor Adventures, a story called Horror of Glamrock, which, yeah, it's about Glamrock, but I mean, it's also a play on a Tom Baker episode, Horror of Fangrock, where he plays a band manager of these two guys. And of course, I mean, there's the monster, and it's Doctor Who, but I mean, the entire episode is sort of littered with references to music. And I think you're really going to love this. I mean, there's like a scene in there where they're running away from a monster. They run into this staircase leading upwards, and the companion at the time, Lucy Miller, was like, "Oh, look, a stairway to heaven." Yeah. So, hold on. I think. Yeah. So.
Okay.
There's a moment in there where the Doctor keeps badgering those two band members with questions, and Bernard Cribbins just goes, "Oi, Doctor, leave those kids alone."
I can actually just picture him saying that.
I thought that would get a bigger reaction out of you.
I'm sorry.
So
the next person is, in my opinion, the biggest star to come out of Doctor Who. Would you agree?
I mean, I was gonna do a joke about. Pretty sure there's nothing interesting about this person right after the Doctor Who, right? But I mean, yeah, you pretty much hijacked that conversation.
Well,
but you know what?
Karen Gillan, like,
I mean, yeah, I gotta agree.
Yeah, like
a lot of these.
Who was her platform, which you can't say about many other people.
A lot of these, they're big, they're huge, but a lot of these got their start outside of Doctor Who. She started on Who and exploded afterwards.
Like her very first on-screen role, if I'm not mistaken, was the Pompeii episode, right?
Pretty sure there was one before. Let me just go ahead and read her description. Okay, so Amy Pond, played, of course, by the lovely Karen Gillan. Her early television acting career included guest appearances on several television shows, with her first role being in an episode of ITV crime drama Rebus, a role she had to drop out of school for.
Oh, wow.
She undertook a two-year stint as a member of the ensemble cast of the sketch comedy series The Kevin Bishop Show.
Oh, shit.
In which she played multiple characters, including celebrities such as Katy Perry and Angelina Jolie.
Very nice.
She also appeared on TV in a leading role in a horror project entitled The Well, which was broadcast as a series of episodic short films on BBC Two, and later as a web series on BBC.co.uk in 2008. She starred in the Channel 4 television film Stacked. She gained recognition for her work in British film and television, particularly for playing Amy Pond, a primary companion of the 11th Doctor in the science fiction series Doctor Who from 2010 to 2013, for which she received several awards and nominations. Her early film roles include Outcast in 2010 and Not Another Happy Ending in 2013. She also worked.
You left Oculus. Is that after this?
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was before this. Sorry.
Yeah. Again. This is what happens when you interrupt. She also worked on.
Wikipedia doesn't list every person's credits in the bio, so that's why I asked if it was before.
No, it does, but not in the right order, which is annoying. But that's why I had to put it in my list in the way that I felt was most
Okay.
streamlined. Okay, so she also worked uh, on the stage while in Britain, appearing in John Osborne's play Le- Landmiss Inadmissible Evidence in 2012. She made her transition to Hollywood, starring in the horror film Oculus in 2013.
Underrated horror movie, I will add.
Her first commercial success in the United States, and thereafter played the lead in the ABC sitcom Selfie in 2014. She
Which
achieved
is a modern adaptation of, I think it's My Fair Lady.
no,
Yeah.
nice.
It is My Fair Lady because she plays a character whose name is really freaking close to Eliza Doolittle.
Eliza Dushku.
Yeah.
It was a Schmodown joke.
That's
thing.
why I went.
Yeah. Okay, now let's try this again. She achieved international stardom for portraying Nebula in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the films Guardians of the Galaxy in 2014, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, 2017, Avengers Infinity War 2018, Avengers Endgame 2019, Thor Love and Thunder 2022, and Guardians of the Galaxy 2023. And oh, look at that! We finally talk about the not British version of the Avengers.
Sorry, I haven't heard of Guardians of the Galaxy. What is that?
I don't know, some security guards at a Samsung shop. Who cares?
Basically, who's the one who put her on the map, but Guardians is the one that launched her into the stratosphere.
Yeah. She wouldn't be Nebula if she wasn't Amy Pond first.
100%.
She additionally was praised for her portrayals of Ruby Roundhouse in the action films Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle in 2017, and Jumanji The Next Level in 2019, as well as Gunpowder Milkshake in 2021, and her a double role in the sci-fi thriller film Duel in 2022. Aside from acting, she garnered critical acclaim for her involvement as writer and director in the drama film The Party's Just Beginning in 2018, which she also headlined. She has been noted for her public image and activism, particularly towards suicide prevention. In 2023, she appeared in Late Bloomers. Also in 2023, she started filming Sleeping Dogs in Australia with Russell Crowe.
Ooh.
So, pretty redundant question, but what do you think?
I mean, it's Karen Gillan. Like, you can't really go anywhere nowadays without seeing her name pop up for one reason or another. Like I said, the biggest star to come out of Who. And I don't think anybody will come close for a long time.
Yeah, the biggest star that Doctor Who built their careers, even more so than Matt Smith, I would argue.
100%. Because while Matt Smith has gone on to do some good things that have gotten acclaim, she's gone into bigger pop culture things.
Yeah.
So more people will know her. Like, I mean, with Matt Smith, we had his brief role in Terminator Genesis, and we had Morbius.
Nice.
And The Crown.
And what's the Game of Thrones thing?
Oh, yes. House of Fire. I haven't seen it shit. But
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon, yeah, he's also in that. But like, look, you listed it. Karen Gillan's got Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War, Guardians 1.
I mean, we pretty much just sum it up in Avengers.
Basically.
Let's start with that.
Yeah.
And Jumanji.
Which Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, is one of my all-time favorite movies. And I rewatched it the other night, and I'm looking at it. It's like, I remember when people were bitching about her outfit. And she came out and said, how about you watch the movie first?
Yeah, exactly.
She's 100% right. You watch the movie,
why?
it makes sense.
Yeah, you know why? Because she's a boss. That's why.
Damn right.
Yeah. She was also in Spies in Disguise. Have you seen that movie?
Never heard of it.
It's the Will Smith, Tom Holland spy movie, the animated one.
Yeah, the one where he's a pigeon? Yeah, I never saw it.
I did. I like what they were going with, but it's too stupid for me to like it. And for me to say that about an animated movie,
you know
you're doing
it's bad.
something wrong.
Yeah.
Now, I wait.
I'm just showing my excitement for who's next.
Let me freaking tell the story, because
Go ahead.
I did also include Caitlin Blackwood.
Oh, okay. I think you could just
That's why I kept telling you to curb your enthusiasm. Okay. So Caitlin Blackwood, of course, her cousin who played young Amelia Pond.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she appeared in a 2015 episode of the crowdfunded TV series Cops and Monsters. In 2018, she appeared in a short film called Sundown. She played young Amelia Pond in several episodes of Doctor Who, The 11th Hour, The Big Bang, Let's Kill Hitler, and The God Complex, with footage of her briefly reused in The Angels Take Manhattan. She is the cousin of Karen Gillan, who portrayed the adult Amy Pond, although they had never met before she was cast.
Which is weird to hear when you hear that.
Yeah, they're cousins! How is that even possible? Okay, so her resemblance to Gillian was a factor in her casting. In 2018, she starred in Sundown, an award-winning short film. In 2020, she played Amy Pond in the Doctor Who short The Raggedy Doctor by Amelia Pond. In 2020, she appeared in the romantic comedy film Lost at Christmas, which also featured Sylvester McCoy and Fraser Hines,
Nice.
a.k.a. the Seventh Doctor and Jamie McCrimmon.
Aye, Jimmy.
All the Scots together.
So,
Although, actually, I'm pretty sure she's not Scottish. She's Irish, but Wikipedia can
yeah,
disagree.
that's great.
Yeah. So Karen Gillan is Scottish, but she was born in Irish. Caitlin Blackwood.
Okay. So I found a picture of Caitlin Blackwood today. So I can find it.
There's a picture out there somewhere on the interwebs of both of them standing side by side.
Yeah, for cousins who've never met, you think that they were sisters. Where the hell did I just put that picture?
Twins, not the sisters. Twins.
Yeah.
Like, Kate, she looks more like Amy Pond now than Karen Gillan does.
There it is. This is taken from an award, I guess, PR line from awards, but yeah. She looks like Karen.
She looks, like I said, she looks more like Amy Pond than Karen Gillan does now.
Right, which is, yeah. I would love to see her could like take over the role if that were possible.
If they were ever to bring that character back, pretty sure Karen Gillan's a bit busy at the moment.
I mean, you could easily get away with it because she is
Amy
now.
What? Yeah, and she reprised the role on Big Finish alongside Missy.
Right. But I'm talking. Forget Big Finish. I'm talking on camera.
True.
She's
Yeah.
23 years old. She's aged into the role.
What? But I mean, I suppose if you do that, you kind of have to bring her back alone without this guy, right?
Yeah, the other half to the Ponds.
Yeah. So Rory Pond, and I'm not kidding. I literally have him written as Rory Pond.
I think everyone in the Who fandom refers to him as Rory Pond, not Rory Williams. Rory Pond.
Yeah, because that's how
his dad is also Arthur Pond.
Brian
Pond. Sorry, that's Arthur Weasley as Brian.
Yeah.
Pond.
And the name of the actor is Mark Williams, oddly enough.
Go figure it.
And the name of this guy is Arthur Darvill.
Yep.
It's weird how these things happen consistently with Doctor Who.
Wibbly wobbly, man.
Yeah. So Rory Pond played of course by Arthur Darvill. He made his professional stage debut in Terre Haute, which ran what?
Terre Haute.
Terre Haute, yeah.
I'm not looking at it, but
Terre Haute, which ran at the Assembly Rooms during the Edinburgh Festival Fringe. He then appeared in the 2008 monologue Stacy. Later that year, he appeared in the Vaudeville Theatre's production of Swinging with Sharks with Kristen Slater, Helen Baxendale, and, surprise, surprise, Matt Smith.
Well, yeah, but you know why that would be, right?
Why that would be what?
Why him and Smith would have come across each other's paths so early in their careers. It's because they've been friends for years.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So In 2008, he made his television acting debut in the ITV crime drama He Kills Coppers. The same year, he appeared in the BBC serial Little Dorrit. He had a minor role in Ridley Scott's Robin Hood and appeared in Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll, both in 2010. In the summer of 2011, he appeared in Dr. Faustus at Shakespeare's Globe Theatre in London. After his departure from Doctor Who, he was cast in the drama Broadchurch alongside David Tennant, Jodie Whittaker, and Olivia Colman.
And if you haven't seen that show, I've only seen the first season, but go watch it. It is so good.
And if you need any proof that Chris Chibnall can actually write a good show, with Jodie Whittaker in it, that's the one to check out.
Yeah, no, it's like a who's who of who.
Who?
Right? Because
you dare to mock the great Quick White Quad?
Well, I mean, you got Olivia Colman, who is in 11th Hour. Naturally, you've got Tennant. You've got Whittaker, who was the previous Doctor. You've got Rory Pond. Like, it's a who's who of who.
Now, on April 19th, 2013, he took over the lead male role of Guy from the musical Once on Broadway, New York. In March 2015, he was cast as the time traveler Rip Hunter in the series Legends of Tomorrow.
Yes, which I wish had gone on longer. His character, I should say.
Definitely. He was written out of the show in 2018. By the end of the third season, however, he returned in 2021 for the show's 100th episode. In 2019, he took on the role of Oscar Lindquist in the West End revival of Sweet Charity. In 2022, he played the lead male role in the musical Oklahoma at the Young Vic.
Oklahoma.
Now, venturing into the Big Finish realm for a little bit, of course, he reprised the role of Rory in the Lone Centurion series, but he's also appeared, I believe, in... Actually, no, I'm not 100% sure on that one.
I've actually got it in front of me.
But he was also Dr. Frankenstein on the Big Finish release of Frankenstein with Nicholas Briggs as the Frankenstein's monster, and I believe there was also Georgia Tennant and Terry Malloy, Davros, for those of you uninitiated. So,
that's actually pretty impressive. But what was the one you were going to say, but you weren't sure of?
I thought he was in the Robin Hood, but that's a guy that looks exactly like him.
No, but did you mention he was in a Torchwood one as a different character?
Oh yeah. He also appeared in one of the. I think it was an 8 Doctor story as a different character as well.
Okay, well, that's not mentioned here on
Echoes of Extinction, I think it's called.
Yeah, that was actually just after this, but he was in an episode on Torchwood, believe, as Frank Lane, and then the next was Time Lord Victorious, Echo of Extinction.
See, I know my Doctor Who Big Finish is.
And he was also in an audio version of The Sandman playing Shakespeare.
Oh yeah, he was in The Sandman. Yeah. That's another thing I forgot he was in. But yeah, great character, great actor. Wish him nothing but the best. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, other than my favorite Rory Pond moment is dinosaurs on a spaceship. Dad, nobody makes a Christmas list anymore. I do! And then just, yeah. That and of course the scenes he has with Amy, where it's like, what's the name of the episode where they're stuck in that loop, but she gets older, he stays the same age? What's the name of that episode?
The Girl Who Waited.
The Girl Who Waited, and it's the line he says to her where he's like, I would have waited for you, or something like that. When she's complaining how she's gotten too old, and what's the line he says to her? I know you know this.
I'm not sure I know exactly which one you're referring to.
Shit, because it's a great moment where it's just like she feels like, she's not attractive enough. She's not the word that Amy fell in love with. And it's just like, basically, I would freaking wait for you to the end of time. And of course, we already had that as the last Centurion.
Lone Centurion.
Lone Centurion. And yeah, even that's a great episode when him finding out that he's not real, he's an auton. And then because of that, he decides to wait for the Pandorica to open. With those, I think, are his two best episodes as an actor in Doctor Who.
Yeah, and of course their love flourished, and we talked. I mean, we talked about the mother, we talked about the father. Now let's talk about the daughter. River Song, easily one of the best characters in the history of this show. And that's saying something. So yeah, Alex Kingston. Pretty sure she did some stuff, right?
She's got quite a career before Who, but a lot of it I'm not familiar with.
Yeah. The earliest thing I have here is in 1980. That's Tom Baker's last season, by the way.
Wow.
Going again with the comparison of the times of some of these people. Okay, so in 1980, she made her television debut in 3 episodes of the children's soap opera Grange Hill, while also appearing as an uncredited extra in the film The Wildcats of St. Trinians. From the mid-80s to the mid-90s, she performed on stage in 20 different theatrical productions, working extensively with the Birmingham Repertory Theatre and the Royal Shakespeare Company. Her classic Shakespearean roles included Julius Caesar, 1987, King Lear in 1990, Much Ado About Nothing, 1990 and 1991, A Midsummer Night's Dream, 1992, and Othello, 1993. Around the same time, she could be seen playing small parts in television shows like A Killing on the Exchange, 1987, Hanny, 1989, Covington Cross, 1992, Soldier, 1993, and Crocodile Shoes in 1994, and also had various guest roles in ITV's long-running police procedural The Bill from 1988 to 1995. In film, she appeared in The Cook, The Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover in 1989 with Helen Mirren.
Yes, and you see a lot of Helen Mirren in that movie. Yeah. And Helen Mirren, she's on screen a lot. I mean, you see a lot of Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren?
That's how much of a lot you see of her. It confused me. Like
Wibbly wobbly Helen Mirren.
Yeah, like I said, she's in them. You see a lot of her, but I'm not talking her acting.
I kind of figured that. She was also in The Infiltrator in 1995 with Oliver Platt, and Carrington in also 1995 with Emma Thompson. Beyond! In April 1996, she got her first regular television role in the ITV crime drama The Knock, appearing in all 13 episodes of the second series. In December, she played the lead role opposite Daniel Craig in The Fountains and Misfortunes of Moll Flanders. In September 1997, she gained North American television fame after being cast as the main character in the long-running medical drama ER. The ER role helped propel her career to new heights, which led to a number of big screen appearances in films like Cropier, 1998, and Sweet Land in 2005, as well as Essex Boys in 2000, and Alpha Dog in 2006. In 2003, she battled Romans as the warrior queen of Britain's ITV biopic Boudica, which was what?
It's pronounced Boudica.
Oh, really? I always thought it was Boudica.
It's Boudica.
Really? I learned something new every day. Which was released in the USA on PBS under the title Warrior Queen and marked the screen debut of Emily Blunt.
Damn.
And in November 2005, she guest starred in an episode of the CBS crime drama Without a Trace. The following year, she returned to the stage after 10 years in the West End production of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, starring as Nurse Ratched opposite Christian Slater as Randall McMurphy.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't
Yeah.
know that version existed.
Well, now you do, and you're welcome. She then received. She then revealed that she auditioned for the role of Lynette Scavo on ABC's Desperate Housewives, but was turned away. Get this, for being too curvy. In September 2008, she was in ITV's acclaimed four-part drama Lost in Austin, based on Jane Austen's novel Pride and Prejudice. In October, she appeared in an episode of the police procedural drama CSI Crime Scene Investigation. In both 2010 and 2010, both 2009 and 2010, she had recurring roles in the ABC science fiction drama Flash Forward and in the NBC legal drama Law and Order Special Victims Unit. In spring 2009, she returned to ER during its 15th and final season for 2 episodes. In June, she starred as the lead in the BBC One 8-part drama series Hope Springs. In the early 2010s, she played a housewife in the 5-part supernatural drama Marchlands in 2011. She was she was an archaeologist in the second series of the revived Upstairs Downstairs in 2012.
Oh, I didn't know they revived that.
And an analyst working for a missing persons unit in the 4-part crime drama Chasing Shadows. Basically, she's been playing River Song-like roles all throughout her career, essentially. In the US, she appeared in the romantic film Like Crazy in 2012 and the Grey's Anatomy spin-off series Private Practice in 2011. She also starred in the first season of the CW superhero drama series Arrow as Professor Dinah Lance, the mother of Laurel and Sarah Lance, and later reprised the role in a few episodes over the next 3 seasons alongside John Barrowman. So basically, River Song and Captain Jack met on screen on Arrow and off screen on Big Finish.
Now, before you continue,
and there's a lot to continue, by the way.
So I'm going to give you a minute to rest here. Speaking of her private life, do you know who her first husband was?
Voldemort.
Damn right, it's Ray Fine himself.
Fine.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think the reason they broke up is because he cheated on her.
I mean, I would have expected that from Voldemort, but
in 1995, Fiennes began an affair with his Hamlet co-star and left Kingston the following year. They were divorced in 1997. In the 2006 interview, she admitted to considering and nearly attempting suicide because of it. Which it's the first time I'm reading that. I did not know that.
I mean, Voldy, if you're married to Alex Kingston and that's not good enough for you, there's something wrong with you. Just saying.
Yep, you're an idiot.
No wonder we lost to a 17-year-old nerd.
As a wizard, you'd think he'd know where not to put his wand. Ah, yes, that one deserves it.
You had to go there. Go there.
Of course. I've been sitting at this computer for 4.5 hours now. I'm a little fried.
A little, yeah.
I also found that quote I was trying to remember earlier from the girl who waited. Do you mind if I say it before we continue? Because
go ahead.
For her, you sound like you need to rest your voice a minute. So it's when she confronts him and she says, "I got old, Rory. What do you think was going to happen?" And his words were, "Hey, I don't care that you got old. I care that we didn't grow old together."
Yeah, while you were starting that line, I remembered the full quote. Yeah.
It's not you grow old, it's that we didn't grow old together. And that's the line that sticks out for me. I wish I could have remembered it earlier. But like I said, that and his stuff as the Centurion in the Pandora Opens is two best episodes, in my opinion.
I mean, just that line alone, husband of the year material.
It sums up Amy and Rory. Am I not wrong? Am I mistaken in that? That line sums up Amy and Rory.
I mean, that's why he's husband of the year material.
He's the boy who waited.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Back to Alex Kingston. On stage, she put. Hold on. On stage, she participated in the Dahmer Warehouse production of Frederick Schiller's play Louis Miller in 2012. But in July 2013, she played Lady Macbeth opposite Kenneth Branagh in the Manchester International Macbeth, which was broadcast live in cinemas worldwide as part of the National Theatre Live program. Following a nomination for Best Actress at the Manchester Theatre Awards, she reprised her role with Branagh at the Park Avenue Armory in June 2014, making her New York stage debut. Earlier in April, Branagh and Kingston took other classic Shakespearean-led roles in the 2.5-hour adaptation of Antony and Cleopatra, broadcast on BBC Radio 3 as part of its celebration.
What song is Cleopatra? Why wouldn't you cast her in that?
In its celebration of the 450th anniversary of Shakespeare's birth. During the late 2010s, she took a prominent role in A Discovery of Witches in 2018 to 2022, while also appearing in shows like Gilmore Girls, A Year in the Life in 2016, Shoot the Messenger in 2016, and The Willow in 2019. In 2021, she wrote a River Song novel called Doctor Who: The Ruby's Curse for BBC Books, and reprised the role for pre-recorded elements of the investigative theatrical experience Time Fracture, which was part of the Time Lord Victoria storyline.
What I want to know is how I didn't know she wrote a Doctor Who book.
I think she wrote two. I think she wrote two books. And the funniest thing is the first book, the author is credited as Melody Malone.
I had heard that, but I didn't know that she actually wrote that book.
Yeah, she did. The following year, she starred as the villainous Lucifer in an episode of the Oliver Twist-inspired children's television series Dodger, also starring the ninth Doctor actor Christopher Eccleston. In September 22, it was announced that she will return to the Royal Shakespeare Company for the first time since the early 90s in The Tempest.
Okay. Do you think we're going to see River Pond in River Pond, River Song,
River Song? I mean, that's basically just like saying River.
Shut up. Do you think we will see her at some point before Shutikawa officially has his first season? Because we do have several specials coming up.
I mean, it's pretty much out there now that her spin-off series on Big Finish, The Diary River Song, coming to an end. Oh. Coincidence? I think not.
Interesting. I mean, because I would love to see her interact with a version of Tennant's Doctor, which we are getting a version of.
Yeah, and and this doesn't really break much of her timeline any more than it already has.
Oh, because her timeline was broken the first time you met her
when she was born.
Yeah, right, when she was born, but the first time you met her was at the end of her story and the beginning of his.
I mean, I couldn't make the argument that it wasn't really the end of her story, but we'll get to that when we get to it.
And for those who are out there and say some of the people are good actors, go look at Silence in the Library, because she was able to do something. Whatever. She was able to do something in those episodes that you don't normally see, and she was able to get across that this was the love of her life, but nobody else knew, you know? She knew where their
even the audience didn't.
Even nobody knew, and to have it work so well as it did, and then you go back in hindsight and watch that episode again after seeing everything else, she nailed it out of the park, and she didn't have any of that other material they had to use.
And she thought she came in for the one episode.
Yep.
What? No.
Did they? So you probably know this. Did they have in mind River Song being a bigger character at that point, or was it until Moffat took over?
It wasn't a sure thing that Moffat was going to be the showrunner.
Yeah.
She believed she was there for just that one episode.
Okay, so it'd been discussed, but nothing was official.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even she didn't know.
Oh, frig. Even more kudos.
I don't even think it was discussed. She legit thought this was a one-off.
Even more kudos to her, man.
Yeah. And you know what else?
Hmm.
Same story with Sarah Jane Smith, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, she thought Elizabeth Sladen thought she was there for the one episode.
And as we all know, she wasn't.
The rest is history.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of history, let's talk a little bit about James Corden.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
A very divisive figure.
Yeah, much has been said about this guy, but you know what?
I believe it.
Let's just be as objective as we can. Okay?
He has his moments where he's funny. I really liked him in these episodes. He's surprisingly really talented, but overall he comes off like a smarmy douche.
Pretty much. Yeah. But not as the character Craig Owens.
God, no.
When James Corden plays him.
I love his episodes.
His first stage appearance was at the age of 18 with a one-line part in the 1996 musical Martin Guerre. And for those of you still keeping track of who was a doctor at the time, this was during the Paul McGann movie, the year of the Paul McGann movie. His first TV reporter role was on the BBC's Good Morning with Anne and Nick, interviewing Meatloaf. His early television work included the 1999 series Boys Unlimited. He also starred in Tango advertisements in 1988 and had a role in Teachers, and in 2000s a small part in an episode of Hollyhawks. He had guest
50. Sorry, it's pronounced Hollyoaks.
Okay, sorry, my bad. Hollyoaks.
Yeah.
He had guest appearances on Little Britain and Dalziel and Pascoe. There's that name again. Both in 2004. His early film credits include Whatever Happened to Harold Smith, 1999, All or Nothing, in 2002, Heartlands, also 2002, and Cruise of the Gods, also 2002. From 2000 to 2005, he starred on the British television series Fat Friends. Beginning in 2004, he appeared in the original London stage production of The History Boys, as well as in the Broadway, Sydney, Wellington, and Hong Kong productions of the same thing. He also was in the radio and 2008 film adaptation of the play. In 2006, he appeared in the film Starter for 10, originally airing from 2007 to 2010. He co-wrote and co-starred with Welsh actress Ruth Jones in Gavin and Stacey.
Yeah, I just want to interject. Gavin and Stacey is considered one of the best BBC sitcoms ever.
Really?
I didn't know that. And I also didn't know that because of that show, we ended up getting Carpool Karaoke in a roundabout way on his late night stuff. I fell into a rabbit hole because I watched the documentary on the band Wham the other day. So I've been just looking up stuff on George Michael. And there was a documentary that came out a couple years ago. But these bonus features on YouTube I found were the first time these celebrities had met George Michael. And for James Corden, it was basically, there was for Red Nose Day, they were going to do a skit where his character from Gavin and Stacey was going to save Red Nose Day or whatever. And George Michael was in the car with him, and all of a sudden they started singing I'm Your Man from Wham. And that's how Carpool Karaoke basically got started.
Cool. And all of that, not in as much detail, is in this breakdown. I think it's in the breakdown. I think.
I just, before we started doing all our recordings today is when I heard that, when I watched that video.
So it's very fresh in your mind and you're very excited to talk about it.
Well, yeah.
So for Gavin and Stacey, he won the BAFTA Television Award for Best Comedy Performance. He was featured on the UK #1 single "Shout" on an unofficial anthem of the England football team for the 2010 FIFA World Cup in South Africa. And again, that's real football, not American football. And I think one of the most notorious World Cups in recent memory. So iconic, even I remember it when it happened. Appearing on the UK charity television Comic Relief in 2012, he created his carpool karaoke sketch when he drove around London singing songs with George Michael.
There you go.
Yeah, I remembered something about that. I just wasn't sure where on the
reason I
breakdown
came
was
across that is because of this Swam documentary. I've got a bigger appreciation for George Michael, the person. Yeah, who I know did, got arrested for exposing himself. But I mean, outside of that, from all sounds, he was a fucking solid dude that got a bad rap. So,
just like another person we talked about today. In 2009, he co-presented the Brit Awards with Kylie Minogue and Matthew Horn. He returned to host the ceremony solo between 2012 and 2014. He hosted the Tony Awards in 2016 and 2019, and the Grammy Awards in 2017 and 2018. Since 2010, he has presented the sports-based comedy panel show A League of Their Own on Sky One. He has appeared in films including Gulliver's Travels in 2010, Into the Woods in 2014, Kill Your Friends in 2015, and Peter Rabbit in 2018, and its 2021 sequel in which he voiced the title character. He is also known for his roles in the musical film Cats in 2019, The Prom in 2020, and Cinderella in 2021. In 2011, he played the lead part in the comedy play One Man, Two Governors, which transferred from the National Theatre to the West End and then to Broadway, and was also signcast worldwide via National Theatre Live. For his performance in the Broadway run of the play, he won the Tony Award for Best Actor in a Play. In 2015, he received the BAFTA Britannia Award for British Artist of the Year. As a presenter and talk show host, he has been nominated for 22 Primetime Emmy Awards, winning 9 in total, including for The Late Late Show, Carpool Karaoke, and hosting the 70th Tony Awards. He was appointed an officer of the British Empire, also known as OBE, in the 2015 New Year honors for services to drama. And in 2018, the Seatbelt Psychic television series was produced by him and his production company, Fullwell 73, for Lifetime platform. This dude's done a lot, I guess.
Yeah, he's well, that's the thing. He's done a lot. He's charming, but he comes off as insincere. That's my as I've gone more, he just comes off as insincere. Yeah,
off camera,
100%. Yeah, no, the stories I've heard of him does not make him look good.
Yeah. Now, as Sora is talking to the air, sadly we won't be covering the Paternoster Gang, Brian Pond, Doria Maldavar, or Winston Churchill on this list. I think they deserve a list of their
Sorry,
own.
I was just here. I was just asking her to do something for me. That's why I was talking off camera.
Fourth wall, Soda. Fourth wall. Remember, it exists. Just saying. So yeah, I was just mentioning to the audience that we won't be talking about the Paternoster Gang, Winston Churchill, Doria Maldavar, or Brian Pond. I think they deserve lists to appear on a list of their own. So now we're moving on to.
Sorry, don't some of them are more companions in Big Finish than they are on the show?
That's why I said they deserve more list on their own. Stay tuned for next week. So now we're on to the worst companion of all time, Clara Oswald.
Wait, what, Chameleon?
Yeah, definitely worse than Jeremy Fitzoliver, if that makes any sense to you.
Nope.
So yeah, Clara Oswald, played by Jenna Coleman. She has an older brother named Ben. And that's it. That's about it. Let's move on. Let's take her picture of it.
You can if you want, but I just want to throw one credit. And I didn't know this was her until after I saw her at Who, but she has a cameo in Captain America, the First Avenger.
Yeah, it is on the list, but I mean, I was gonna play it straight and just do the breakdown and everything, and then I saw that she has an older brother named Ben, and I said to myself, it's too good of a joke not to use.
Ben.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're back to it. Okay, so she landed the part of Jasmine Thomas in Emmerdale in 2005. At the British Soap Awards 2007, she was nominated for the Best Newcomer Award, and at the National Television Awards in 2006. She was nominated for the Most Popular Newcomer Award it's so messy. At the 2009 British Soap Awards, she was nominated for the Best Actress, Sexiest Female, and Best Dramatic Performance Awards. What?
No argument there. I think she's. I think she's a very attractive woman.
I agree. I'm just not 100% sure that this is an award that should exist.
No, it's not an award that exists. I agree with you there. But she is a very attractive woman.
Definitely. I mean, she's a model in real life, but outside of acting.
Does not surprise me.
Which is weird because she's the second shortest companion. Human, that is. Second shortest human companion. What?
Of all time?
Of all time, yeah.
Who is the shortest? Is it classic?
Victoria.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say Sarah Jane.
No. I mean, she's really short, but I mean, she's traveled with the 3 tallest doctors.
Okay, fair.
Like the 1, 2, and 3 tallest doctors. So
Tom Baker, Matt Smith, David Tennant.
Tom Baker, number 1.
Yeah.
John Pertwee, number 2, and David Tennant and number 3.
Wait, Tennant is taller than Smith? I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, you can't see that if you look closely at Day of the Doctor.
Okay, so a little bit of fourth wall breaking. So when my mom was in here to use my bathroom, I looked outside prior, and it was gray outside. So she came up. I was like, "Mom, could you please close the sunroof of the car? It might rain." 2 minutes later, it's piss and rain. Thank God she closed it in time.
You are a soothsayer, my friend.
Yeah. No, I thought for sure Smith would have been taller.
Oh no. I mean, he's pretty tall,
right?
But
I think the reason I think that is because unlike Tennant, Matt Smith used his gangliness. So when he did shit like this, you'd make him think you would think he was taller and ganglier than he was.
Yeah. I honestly did not know Tom Baker was the tallest doctor, though.
That does not surprise me.
Yeah. I mean, Tom Baker's huge.
Exactly. That's why it doesn't surprise me, because not only was he tall in real life, he cast a large shadow.
I do not appreciate the Tom Baker body shaming on this show.
That wasn't body shaming. He legit cast a large shadow. That's not.
He lost a lot of weight in recent years. Okay, give the guy a break.
He's also older, but I wasn't talking about his weight. I'm talking metaphorically. He casts a big shadow on the show because for years he was everyone's favorite doctor. He was the doctor until Tennant came along. I'm not speaking out of turn here.
All right. Okay, so back to Jenna Coleman, who is dwarfed by Tom Baker in acting-wise and size-wise, that is. Okay, so Sexiest Female and Best Dramatic Performance Awards. In May 2009, it was announced that she would be joining the BBC school-based drama series Waterloo Road. As she was 23 at the time of her casting, she found the experience of playing a schoolgirl surreal. Quote, following Waterloo Road, she spent time in the United States auditioning for roles. In 2011, making it to final auditions for a sitcom pilot that she had to back out of in order to take a role in Titanic. In December 2010, it was announced that she would be appearing in a BBC4 television adaptation of the John Bryan novel, Brian novel Room at the Top. The show aired in 2 parts on 26th and 27th of September 2012. In 2011, she made her feature film debut with a small role in Captain America: The First Avenger. She also got the role of Annie Desmond in Julian Fellowes' 4-part miniseries Titanic. And now you know there is a miniseries called Titanic with Jenna Coleman in it. You're welcome, Soda.
Which I knew the miniseries existed. I didn't know she was in it.
And now you have even more reason to watch it.
Yeah, I'm good. The movie's good enough.
Well, I mean, no reason to check out other versions of it.
I would gladly check it out. It's just one of those. I don't think it's easily available up here.
Oh, that's a different story.
That's the thing with a lot of BBC's, like a lot of stuff from across the pond, so to speak. It's basically if it's not on BBC One, good luck trying to find it.
Yeah, good luck. She starred in the adaptation of Death Comes to Pemberley. The 3 episodes were shown on BBC One during Christmas 2013. In 2012, she was cast in the original drama series Dancing on the Edge. The show aired on BBC Two in February 2013. In 2015, she was cast in ITV's 8-part drama following the reign of the British monarch and Empress of India, Queen Victoria. Victoria premiered in 2016 on ITV all the way to 2019. In 2017, she became the narrator for a Royal Caribbean UK advertising campaign. On January 8th, 2018, she was confirmed to appear in the 4-part BBC drama The City. In 2019, she starred in the Old Vic Theatre's production of All My Sons, which ran from April 13th to June 8th, and included a cinema screening via National Theatre Live on May 14th. In February 2019, it was announced that she would make a guest appearance in an episode from Series 5 of the dark comedy series Inside Number 9, with an expected broadcast date later in the year. In 2019, she was cast in the Netflix and BBC drama The Serpent. During the pandemic, she participated in The Remote Read, a planned series of online drama performances to raise funds for theatrical workers left unemployed by the pandemic. The first production under this banner, an adaptation of Tom Stoppard's A Separate Piece from 1966, was transmitted via the Zoom video conferencing platform on May 2nd, 2020. She also recorded the short story Pressures Residential by Philip Hensher in support of UNICEF UK, as well as The Tale of the Flopsy Bunnies by Beatrix Potter, as part of the collection of audiobooks in Beatrix Potter: The Complete Tales. 9 years after her original release, its original release, she reprised her role in the video game Xenoblade Chronicles, the definitive edition, which featured a brand new epilogue taking place after the main story. She then returned as to the role in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 in 2022. She headed Boots UK in 2021, the 2021 Christmas ad campaign, Bags of Joy, with her character Joy being shown to give Christmas presents to friends and family out of a bag that is bigger on the inside.
Yeah.
In May 2020, she was cast as
Mary Poppins.
What?
So she's Mary Poppins. She has a bag that's bigger on the inside.
Or maybe it's because she also stole a TARDIS and basically she's the Doctor now, because Stephen Moffat had to go there. Okay, so in May 2021, she was cast as Joanna Constantine, the great grandmother of John Constantine in DC Comics' The Sandman series, which debuted on Netflix in August 2022.
Oh, cool.
She returned to the West End stage beginning in January 2023, co-starring with Aidan Turner in a revival of the 2015 Sam Steiner play Lemons, 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 Lemons. Initially with a nine-week run at the Harold Pinter Theatre in London, followed by runs in Manchester and Brighton up until April. In February 2021, she was cast in the dark comedy Glockenludel. The film was announced as having its public debut at the 2021 London Film Festival on October 8, 2022. It was later on. What?
Never heard this.
Me neither.
But before you continue, apparently that word is the Dutch word referring to whistleblower. So that should maybe give an idea of what the movie's about.
Yeah, Glockenludel, which was later announced that she was cast for the lead role and would be the executive producer of the historical drama series The War Rooms, which will tell the story of women who worked in Winston Churchill's secret Whitehall bunker during World War II, and inspired Ian Fleming to create the character of Miss Pontypenny for his James Bond novels.
Because wait. So she's playing the character that Moneypenny's based on?
Yeah.
Cool.
Because apparently Clara Oswald had her hands in that too as well.
Oh my God. Let it go!
No! in June 2022, she was announced to play Liv Taylor in the Amazon Prime series Thriller Wilderness. Sorry, Amazon Prime series Prime Thriller Wilderness. Just prior to Christmas 2022, she filmed a role in a film entitled Jackdaw. Okay, so anything else interesting to you?
Not particularly. I haven't seen a majority or even heard of a majority of these things.
Yeah, so you also haven't seen The Sandman, right?
No, it's one of those. It's saved on my list, like a lot of things. I just haven't watched it.
Yeah, even before I knew she was involved, I was like, I don't know if that's something I wanted to watch. So,
which is fair. It's one of those. It's definitely not for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. But you know what's interesting about that Winston Churchill series? You know who actually physically was in that bunker alongside Winston Churchill during those times?
Based on everything I know of this guy, and I'm just throwing this out of a shot in the dark, Christopher Lee.
Close, but no cigar.
Really?
That was a hint, by the way.
Close, but no cigar. You put me in the direction. So I'm assuming it's a famous person.
Yeah.
Are we talking famous for playing fictional characters or famous for being a real person?
Famous for being a real person who played fictional characters.
Lights a cigar. That's the thing, though. Like, there's so many.
I never said he lights a cigar.
Close but no. Then I don't know, because that's quite the curveball.
John Pertwee.
How would they have close but no cigar given me a hint?
Because, and this is a real thing, you can look it up, while he was working there at the bunker, he used to collect the cigar butts that Churchill threw on the floor and sell them to Americans for extra cash on the side.
That's very shrewd. Very smart.
Very, very smart indeed. All right, so
you see why I would have thought Christopher Lee, though, right? You've seen that guy.
I can see that. Yeah. I mean,
that guy's a Norse joke for real.
Is there something that Christopher Lee didn't do?
Not that I know of. I mean, hell, he was witness to the last ever public execution in France.
Last ever guillotine public execution.
Yeah, sorry, last ever execution by guillotine. Like, my God. This is one of my favorite stories that I read. It was when they were filming Lord of the Rings, and Peter Jackson was trying to give him stage direction. He's just like, you're supposed to do this. Basically, Sound like somebody who's got stabbed, and Christopher Lee's like, "Oh, do you know what that sounds like?" Jackson's like, "No." I'm like, "I do."
I think you got your
I might
references
have mixed it up a little bit, but
because it was in Revenge of the Sith when George Lucas told him
not Jackson. Yeah,
it wasn't getting stabbed, it was getting decapitated.
I thought it was getting stabbed.
No, it was getting decapitated in Revenge of the Sith.
Huh.
All right, so back to Doctor Who. We went from the 12th Doctor's worst companion to his best companion.
Sorry, actually, I wasn't wrong. There is an article in the LA Times called "That Time Christopher Lee Taught Peter Jackson the Sound a Stabbed Man Makes."
Well,
I wasn't wrong.
Well, it shows what I know. So yeah, thanks for interrupting me again, Soda. But yeah, we went from
It's been a while. I was due.
Then I find you get a gold star. We went from the 12th Doctor's worst companion to the 12th Doctor's best companion.
I love this guy.
Nardole, played by the iconic and legendary Matt Lucas. His association with Vic Rivers and Bob Mortimer began in 1992. He appeared in The Smell of Reeves and Mortimer in 1995 and went on to star with them in Shooting Stars. He quickly rose to fame as a giant baby, often dressed in adult-sized romper suits, who would deliver a string of meaningless gags and insults before delivering the team's scores while sitting at and playing a drum kit. He again appeared with Reeves and Mortimer in the BBC TV series Randall and Hopkirk, deceased, and Catterick in a variety of roles. In 1999, he paired with David Williams, with whom he had already worked in Mash and Peas and Sir Bernard Stately Holmes to create Rock Profile, a comedy show spoofing famous musical personalities. It is notable for being one of their first comedic collaborations. His music video appearances include Blur's Country House, Jesus Land by Ben Folds in 2005, I'm With Stupid by Pet Shop Boys, and Vindaloo by Fatless. He ventured into stage musicals in 2002 when he took a role in Boy George's musical Taboo at the Venue in London. Little Britain is his most commercially successful work. It was launched as a radio show on BBC Radio, and it later became a TV series. In 2005, he took his first role in a television drama, a supporting part as a Venetian Duke, in the BBC historical series Casanova, written by Russell T Davies.
And the first time he collaborated with a certain David Tennant.
Yep. Also,
if I'm not mistaken, wasn't this the main reason he got Who? Or he was asked to do Who in the first place?
I don't know. I mean, that's like 10 years out. Somewhere. That's like a 10-year gap.
Casanova? The show?
That's 2005, and he was Nardole in 2015.
I'm talking about Tennant.
Oh, Tennant. Oh, that's a different thing. Yeah,
Yes, I believe this is what got him into consideration because he was offered 9.
Yeah, he was offered 9, and then it went to Eccleston.
Yeah, I think it's because of this.
Well, I mean, as long as we got him, who cares?
Basically.
Also, in 2005, he did voice work in the ITV children's program King Arthur's Disasters as Merlin, and this was my first exposure to him. Have you ever heard of King Arthur's Disasters?
No, I have not. But we have not come to my first introduction to him yet.
Cool. So, if you ever get the chance, try to look it up. It's great. The animation it is what it is, but him as Merlin is gold. All right, it's gold. Okay, so where was I? Since 2006, he has been the voice of the radio and television character Digit L. Get it? Digit L. Devised as part of a public information campaign on digital switchover. On the 26th of November 2006, he appeared on the BBC Radio 4 program Desert Island Discs. He made a cameo appearance in Shaun of the Dead as Tom, the cousin of Sean's friend Yvonne.
Yeah. So
that was your first introduction?
But I didn't realize who it was until a later movie of his.
Okay, well, you might get there.
I saw Shaun of the Dead first, but it wasn't until later that he was in there, sort of thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the same thing happening with who? I mean, after I liked him as Gnarl, and then his name pops up in the credits for The Return of Dr. Mysterio, and was like, wait a minute, Matt Lucas? That's Merlin. So, yeah, that's how it happened to me. In 2007, he released I'm Gonna Be, originally by the Proclaimers, with Peter Kay as a charity single for comic relief. He also starred as Mr. Toad in The Wind in the Willows in 2006.
Forgive me. My butt's starting to fall asleep.
Go ahead. I'm always ecstatic whenever you mention your butt.
You're welcome.
He has appeared in Kath and Kim and Neighbours, as well as a cameo role in the BBC Three sitcom Gavin and Stacey, which you already mentioned. He has co-written and performed in a new series of Little Britain's USA for HBO. He was the first celebrity to appear in 2008's Big Brother Celebrity Hijack on E4. On April 9th, 2009, the series Crawd Mandoon and the Flaming Sword of Fire, featuring him as a regular performer, premiered on Comedy Central, the first major comedy series which he has worked on since Little Britain. In 2010, he played Tweedledee and Tweedledum in Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland.
Yep.
Was this the first time?
Yep.
Yeah, I figured as much.
And then there's one more movie. And then I was like, oh, that's that. And then after that, it's like, oh, his name is Matt Lucas. So it took one more role before it stuck with me.
Before it stuck.
Before it stuck, yeah.
Starting in February 2010, Lucas began hosting his own radio show, And the Winner Is, in which he handed out a fictional series of awards based on nominations by his guests. On October 3rd, 2010, he appeared in the 25th anniversary concerts of Les Miserables at the O2 Arena in London. A year later, from 23rd of June to September 10th in 2011, he reprised the role at the Queen's Theatre in the West End. Also in 2011, he lent his voice to the CGI film Romeo and Juliet and played a small role as the roommate of Kristen Wiig in the comedy Bridesmaids.
That's the other one.
Yeah. Speaking of which, have you seen Romeo and Juliet?
No. I've heard it's actually pretty good, though.
It's not the Romeo and Juliet you know of, but it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Patrick Stewart plays a statue of William Shakespeare, and it's incredible.
Naturally.
Okay, so on Christmas Day 2010, the BBC began showing his and David Williams' new series, Come Fly With Me, which we've already previously mentioned. On March 28, 2012, he appeared as the Generation X guest on the Australian game show Talking About Your Generation. On April 10th, 2012, which, it's the anniversary of the Titanic, right?
Sorry, what date?
April 10th, 2012.
4 days short of the 100th anniversary.
Dang it. His own BBC show, The Matt Lucas Show Awards, began. He also starred in the dark comedy Small Apartments, released in February 2012, alongside James Caan, Billy Crystal, Johnny Knoxville, and Juno Temple, with other cameo performances by other notable actors. On February 21st, 2013, he appeared on the NBC series Community as Toby, an English friend of Abed Nadir.
Yep.
In 2014, he played Ray Thomas in The Life of Rock with Brian Pern. He launched a new comedy series called Pompidou for BBC Two in 2015. In May 2016, he reprised his role as Tweedledee and Tweedledum in Tim Burton's Alice Through the Looking Glass.
See, I really do not like Alice in Wonderland.
The first one or the sequel?
I've never seen the second one because I cannot stand that first one.
All right. Fine.
To me, it seems like it's a 2-hour-long acid trip.
I mean, you could say that about a lot of Tim Burton's films. Let's be honest.
Right, but none more so than Anne Hathaway's White Crane. I'm pretty sure she was high on meth while doing that, or something. Because, dear Lord,
I mean, she's called the White Queen for a reason, you know.
Anywho, I digress.
Yeah. He joined the BBC series Doctor Who for its 10th series, reprising the character Nardole, which he already previously played in 2015 and 2016 Christmas specials, Husbands of River Song, and The Return of Dr. Mysterio, respectively. On February 16, 2017, he was awarded an honorary degree Doctor of Letters by the University of Bristol, where he had studied for 2 years in the 1990s, but had left before completing his degree course. On October 3rd, 2017, he released his autobiography titled Little Me, published by Canongate Books in hardback. The paperback edition was released on June 7th in 2018. From July 2nd to August 25th, 2018, he appeared in a revival of Me and My Girl at Chichester Festival Theatre. In 2019, he was the bank holiday cover host for the Radio 2 breakfast show. In 2021, he continued to sit in for Zoe Ball and host the Radio 2 breakfast show. From August 10th to November 30th, 2019, he appeared in Les Miserables at the Gilgud Theatre in London's West End. On December 20th, 2019, on December 2019. On January 10th, 2020, Lucas himself was forced to withdraw from the show following a back injury. In March 2020, he became the new co-host of the Great British Bake Off, taking over from Sandy Toksvig. He departed from the program in December 22. On April 2020, he released a reworked version of his Baked Potato song from Shooting Stars titled Thank You Baked Potato, with all proceeds from the track going towards the Feed NHS campaign, which aims to provide meals for NHS workers in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic in the UK. The song reached number 34 in the charts. He also wrote a children's picture book based on Thank You Baked Potato, published by Egmont, and all proceeds again went to Feed NHS. In 2020, he, along with his Little Britain co-star David Williams, apologized for their portrayal of characters using racial caricatures, including an obese Caribbean woman, blackface, and a portly Thai bride. This was prompted. What?
I'm following along in Wikipedia with you. Oh my God, Ting Tong, really?
Yeah, there's a reason why I decided not to write it on the breakdown, Soda. This was prompted after the Netflix and BBC iPlayer removed the show from their catalogs. Rightfully so, I would argue.
So I want to add this on because, like I said, I'm following on Wikipedia, and I want to add this because I always like it when you read things like this. And this is from his personal section. Matt Lucas was raised as Jewish, but had variously described himself as an atheist and a fairly secular Jew. On June 16th, 2022, he was the subject of BBC's Who Do You Think You Are, which, for those of you who don't know, is a show where famous people trace back their family heritage. And he discovered that many of his grandmother's cousins had been killed in the Holocaust. His grandmother's cousin, Werner Goldschmidt, rented a room from Otto Frank in Amsterdam in 1942 and was living with the family when they went into hiding.
Damn.
How, forgive the word, how cool is that? Like, I mean, it's not cool like woo, but I mean, like that's
It's not cool that way.
not cool that way, but it's an interesting anecdote to have in your family tree.
Yeah.
That's it.
Cool. So I like these transitions.
Finally has a short Wikipedia page.
Yeah, I like these transitions from a long page to a short page, with, of course, Bill Potts, played by Pearl Mackie. Now, there's a companion I wish stayed on for longer, but I mean, I also wish the Doctor was on for another season, but it is what it is. Okay, so thankfully I can put this down now because her entire breakdown can be fitted on just the screen I have right now. Okay, so she appeared in an early mainstream role as a front of house girl in the 2013 music comedy Svengali. In 2014, she appeared in Doctors and in Crystal Springs at the Park Theatre in London. She could also be seen in the political satire Obamaology at the Fineborough Theatre in West London. In 2015, she performed in the National Theatre's West End production of The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Night Time. In the same year, she appeared in the short film Date Aid, a satirical public service announcement. She has also worked on an acting as an acting tutor for Troopers, a company that teaches theater skills to children and young people. On April 23rd, 2016, it was announced that she would be playing Bill Potts, the companion of the Doctor in the British television series Doctor Who. It was also announced in March 2017 that Bill will be the first openly gay main companion in the series. After production on Series 10 of Doctor Who had wrapped, she joined a production of Harold Pinter's The Birthday Party, the production co-starring Stephen Mangan, Toby Jones, and Zoe Wanamaker, which opened in January 2018 at London's Harold Pinter Theatre. In 2020, she guest starred as Lucy One in Friday Night Dinner. And that's it for her.
Cool. I agree with you. She should have been on longer, but I mean, I don't really have much to say on somebody I don't really know much about.
Yeah, there definitely would. She definitely was a breath of fresh air after that.
And now back to another long Wikipedia entry.
Oh yes. Thank you, world. Thank you. Why do you hate me so much?
50. It's your decision to read everything off if you're keep that in mind.
I'm not reading everything, thankfully, but I mean, that's about as short as I can make it, and it's still freaking long. So yeah, Graham O'Brien, played, of course, by Bradley Walsh. In late 1979, at the age of 18, he became a professional football player for Brentford, although he failed to make the first team and was regularly a member of the reserves. Now, again, this is the real football, not the American thing. While he was at the Brentford, he also played for Barnet on loan, making 5 Southern Football League appearances in the 1979-1980 season. He also played for Tringtown, Boreham Wood, and Chalfont St. Peter. Ankle fractures and ended his football career at the age of 22 in 1982. He participates in Soccer Aid, a charity football match where England takes on the rest of the world with teams made up of celebrities and football legends. He helped England win the 2006 events as a player and the 2012 and 2016 events as a coach. Following his football career, he had a variety of jobs, including working as a blue coat at Pontins in Morecambe for 3 months. In October 1982, performing as a newcomer comedian, he came second in a talent contest at the Rolls-Royce Sports and Social Club in his hometown of Leavesden. He was recruited by the television channel ITV, who offered him the role as presenter on one of the network's new game shows, Midas Touch. In 1997, he was asked to front the British adaptation of the popular U.S. game show, The Wheel of Fortune, following the decision of longtime presenter Nikki Campbell to leave the show after more than 8 years. His tenure on Wheel of Fortune lasted just 1 year when he decided to turn his hand to acting. He also appeared on Lily Savage's Blankety Blank. His first acting job was a minor role in the Channel 4 series Lock, Stock, not to be confused with Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, as I did. He also appeared in the 2001 Channel 4 TV film Mike Bassett, England Manager. He returned to ITV in 2002 after landing a regular role in the short-lived British soap opera Night and Day. He featured in a total of 52 episodes. And yes, that is considered short-lived as far as British soap operas go.
Totally fair.
Yeah. In 2003, while appearing in Les Miserables in the West End, he played a minor role in an episode of the Bill spin-off series MIT Murder Investigation Team. On May 31st, 2004, he made his first appearance in Coronation Street. In December 2006, he was written out of Coronation Street at his own request. In October 2007, he appeared in the TV drama Torn. In 2008, he appeared in 2 episodes of the Doctor Who spin-off show The Sarah Jane Adventures, and the second story of Series 2, The Day of the Clown, in which he played 3 parts of the same ego: a sinister American-sounding clown called Odd Bob, a mysterious European-sounding ringmaster called Elijah Spellman, and the infamous Pied Piper of Hamelin. In January 2009, he began appearing on ITV's crime drama Law and Order UK from 2009 until 2014. He starred in a total of 54 episodes, which again is considered a short-lived British soap opera. After the 8th series, he decided to take a break from the program, and ITV decided to rest the show, but it has not been cancelled and is simply on hiatus. Sure, just like Torchwood. In May 2014, he was cast in a BBC One comedy series called Suntrap, which premiered on May 27th, 2015, my mom's birthday. In October 2017, the BBC announced that he had been cast as a companion, Graham O'Brien, in the 11th series of Doctor Who. He reprised the role for the 12th series in 2020 and departed the program in the 2021 New Year's Day special Revolution of the Daleks. He also appears in the 2022 special The Power of the Doctor.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hold up. He was in Power of the Doctor. How could he have left in the one up before it?
That's why it's important to listen till the end.
That's why I did.
I'm glad to see you're learning the benefits of that.
Yeah.
In December 2020, it was announced that he had been cast in The Larkins, a new 6-part adaptation of the Darling Buds of May. He started appearing on The Larkins in October 2021, and on October 2021. On September 9th, 2007, he hosted the Countdown 50 Greatest Star Polls on ITV. Later that year, on December 29th, 2007, he hosted the Countdown for the number 1 soap fan on ITV. In August 2008, he fronted his own ITV series entitled My Little Soldier. In November and December of 2008, he hosted another game show for ITV called Spin Star. In 2009, in June, he became the presenter of ITV game show The Chase, as well as the celebrity editions of the program. Between 2010 and 2011, he was the presenter of Saturday panel show Odd One In, with regular panelists Peter Andre and Jason Manford. And since 2012, he has hosted the Crime Thriller Awards on ITV3. He also hosted the Crime Thriller Club on ITV3 in 2013. He also narrated a one-off documentary for ITV called The Circus. In August 2014, he hosted an ITV series called Come On Down, The Greatest Show Story, which looks back on the history of British game shows. On October 26, 2014, after 2 successful pilots, he began hosting the first series of Keep It in the Family. He returned to host a second series in 2015. In 2014, he presented an episode of Sunday Night at the Palladium. He returned to the show to present another episode in 2015. In 2016, he presented 8 episodes of Tonight at the London Palladium, a spin-off of the Sunday Night series. A second series began airing in April 2017. On December 26, 2014, he hosted an entertainment special called A Christmas Cracker, filmed at the Hammersmith Apollo in London. In May 2016, he guest presented an episode of The One Show with Alex Jones. Also in 2016, he began presenting Cash Trapped, a daytime game show for ITV. A second and third series aired in 2017 and 2019, respectively. In 2017, he guest hosted 5 episodes of The Naughty Show on ITV, which aired from the 3rd to the 7th of April. In 2020, he was announced as the host of one-off festive revival of the game show Blankety Blank for the BBC. The show was later commissioned for a full series, and he has presented the show ever since. On May 2023, the BBC announced that he and his son would be co-presenting the reboot of Gladiators. Several other appearances. In 1997, he had a spot in the Royal Gala celebrating 21 years of the Prince Trust. In 2007, he took part in Northern Rock's All-Star Golf Tournament on ITV, in which his team, Team Europe, won. In August 2008, he appeared in a talent show, Maestro, on BBC Two, where he was placed 6th. Since 2015, he has been a team captain of the sports-based panel show Play to the Whistle. The first series lasted for 7 episodes beginning in April 2015. The second series began in April 2016, followed by a third in 2017. Since 2019, he has starred in the ITV travel series Bradley Walsh and Son, Breaking Dad, alongside his son Barney Walsh. In May 2022, he appeared on BBC Radio 4's Desert Island Discs. His chosen favorite record, book and luxury team were Always and Forever by Heatwave, The Court of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas, and a set of golf clubs and balls, respectively. Yeesh, that's a long person's career.
Which you didn't need to read the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things, but
I felt it was important to mention.
All right, let's move on to the next people because, oh my God, I actually do need to go.
Yeah, you need to go because you're the one doing all the work here. Am I right?
No, I'm the one who's actually sat here and spent most of my day in front of a computer.
What do you think I've been doing?
Except you get to go to bed afterwards. I still have a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah. So why don't you just stop interrupting me so we can move on? What do you say about that?
Probably around the same time that you stopped literally copying and pasting everything off of Wikipedia.
I'm not.
As we know,
copying.
Not ever going to happen.
I'm not copying and pasting. I'm copying and pasting and editing. There's a difference. All right. In the interruptions continue with Tulson Cole, who of course played Ryan Sinclair. In 2009, he was part of a theater production titled Wasted, a modern reproduction of Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, produced by Intermission Theater, a company which helps teenagers stay away from crime. This is actually something pretty interesting that I've learned. He's born American, but moved to the UK, which is where he got his start. That's something pretty interesting that for some reason I decided to keep out. I don't remember why. In 2010, he joined the cast of BBC's teen drama The Cut. In 2011, he filmed parts in 2 short films titled Me and My Dad and Jasmine. He later secured a role in EastEnders E20. a spin-off of the British soap opera EastEnders. He was then cast as a regular character in the soap opera Hollyoaks from 2011 to 2012. The actor went on to star in a 2013 episode of the BBC medical drama Holby City. He also played his first cinematic role in Gone Too Far. This was followed by another film role in Second Coming. In 2014, he got the role in a miniseries, The Secrets. In 2015, he appeared in an episode of ITV drama Lewis, and in an episode of the historical series Versailles. That year, he also had a brief appearance in the film Star Wars: The Force Awakens as an X-Wing pilot. In October 4th, 2017, he starred in a short film, Father of Men. He then appeared in the film Unlocked. On the October 22nd, 2017, he was announced to be in the 11th series of Doctor Who, playing Ryan Sinclair, a companion to the Doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker. Starting in 2018, he departed the role in 2021, making his last appearance in the New Year's Day special, Revolution of the Daleks. I know you're pretty much wasted at this point, but
I'm very wasted.
What have you got to say before we move on to next?
I don't have anything to say on this guy. I really don't. That's the thing with a lot of these companions coming up. I've not a clue who they are outside of Who.
You don't even have a clue who they are in Who. Inside of Who. Okay, so Mandip Gill, who of course played the character of Yasmin Khan. She appeared in several theatrical productions before landing her first television role in the Channel 4 soap opera Hollyoaks in 2012. It feels like Hollyoaks is like the modern series version of Z-Cars, if you remember that.
Pretty much.
Last episode. She chose to leave the show in 2015, and her character was killed off. The following year, she had a guest role in the BBC sitcom series Cuckoo, before appearing in Doctors for a 5-episode arc. In 2017, she appeared in The Good Karma Hospital and an episode of Casualty. She also appeared in Kay Mellor's BBC drama Love, Lies, and Records. In October 2017, the BBC announced that she had been cast in the 11th series of Doctor Who as a companion to the 13th Doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker. Starting in 2018, she continued to appear in the 12th and 13th series, as well as a series of specials in 2022. In May 2022, she made her West End theater debut in the play 2x22, A Ghost Story. So that's another short one, but
yeah. Next.
Again, not much after Doctor Who or before.
This next one, thankfully, is your final long one.
Yes, thankfully. We got a nice break with 2 short ones, and now we're back to another long one with the character Dan Lewis, played, of course, by John Bishop. He performed stand-up comedy for the first time in Manchester in October 2000, and the following year made it to the final of all the major new competitions, including So You Think You're Funny, the Daily Telegraph Open Mic Awards, the BBC New Comedy Awards, and the City Life Northwest Comedian of the Year Award, which he won. In 2002, he was named Best Newcomer by BBC Radio Mercedes, sorry. And in 2004, he won the Northwest Comedy Award for Best Stand-Up. In 2009, he appeared as the first act on Michael McIntyre's Comedy Roadshow in Manchester. That year, he appeared at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, where his show Elvis Has Left the Building was nominated for an Eddie, which is an Edinburgh Comedy Award. In 2009, he appeared on Channel 4's Series Comedy Showcase and was a contestant on Celebrity Mastermind. He also appeared in the BBC 3 sitcom series Launch Monkeys. He has appeared in 5 times on the BBC Radio Live Fighting Talk quiz show, claiming 4 victories on the program. His material is drawn from his life experiences, including fatherhood, cycling around the world, playing semi-professional football, the real one, and working as a nightclub doorman. His first television appearance was in 2007 on the RTE topical comedy show The Panel, where he was a regular panelist until 2008. He then went on to the Channel 4 panel show 8 out of 10 Cats before appearing in the BBC's Live at the Apollo. In December 2009, he starred in his own TV show on LFC TV called John Bishop Meets, where he interviewed former Liverpool football players. In 2010, he was a celebrity team captain on What Do Kids Know with Rufus Hound, the meddling monk, Joe Swash, and Sarah Cox on Watch. He has also appeared on BBC's Mock the Week, the radio 4's Act Your Age. He is also in Series 3 and Series 4 of Skins. In 2010, he appeared in Ken Loach's Root Irish, which premiered at the 2010 Cannes Film Festival. He is a regular panelist on the Sky One show, A League of Their Own, as well as a stand-up sketch show for BBC One titled John Bishop's Britain. On July 11, 2010, he came runner-up in the second ever game of How Many Peter Joneses on ITV's James Corden's World Cup Live. He has appeared as a panelist on BBC programs Have I Got News for You, Would I Lie to You, and QI. On October 28, 2010, he also guest hosted an episode of Series 40 of Have I Got News for You. In March 2011, and he and fellow comedians Alan Carr, James Corden, Catherine Tate, and David Williams appeared in the video for Take That's original Happy Now for Comic Relief. On June 24, 2012, he appeared on Desert Island Discs. On August 28 and September 4th, 2012, he appeared in Accused for 2 episodes. In late 2012, he appeared on BBC's genealogy series, Who Do You Think You Are?, which you've already mentioned, and on an ITV one-off episode called Panto. As of January 2013, he hosts John Bishop's Only Joking on Sky One. On July 28, 2013, he headlined the Vodafone Comedy Festival in Dublin's Ivy Gardens. His autobiography titled How Did It All Happen was published in October 2013. In November 2013, he hosted the 2013 Royal Variety performance at the London Palladium Theatre in the presence of Charles, Prince of Wales, and Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall at the time. In December 2014, he appeared in A Night with Ollie Murs, where he and Ollie Murs. What?
The same Camilla that's now queen.
Yes, it took you long enough to.
Because I didn't realize I was on mute. I was actually trying to say something.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that's my bad. I didn't know I was on mute.
All right. So, in December 2014, he appeared in A Night with Ollie Murs, where he and Ollie Murs had a lip sync battle. In 2015, he presented his own variety show on BBC One called The John Bishop Show. On May 2015, he appeared as a special guest at the Liverpool Date of Murs Never Been Better tour and performed Troublemaker with him. In January 2016, he took part in the BBC series Stargazing Live, appearing from the European Astronaut Center and following Team Peak's astronaut training program with a simulated spacewalk underwater. Since September 2016, he has presented John Bishop in Conversation With. And September 21st, 2016, he was confirmed to have a role in ITV drama series Fearless, which aired in 2017. On September 29th, 2016, he announced that he would be going on tour for the 5th time in October and November of 2017 with a show titled Winging It. In August 2019, he began presenting a football program called Back of the Net for Amazon Prime. On September 8th, 2020, he and writer, actor, director Tony Pitts launched their new podcast called Three Little Words. On January 1st, 2021, he announced that he would join the cast of Doctor Who as Dane Lewis, a companion of the 13th Doctor. And on January 28th, he was announced that he would appear as a contestant on the fourth series of the Great Stand Up to Cancer Bake Off in the spring of that year. In December 2022, he starred as Vic in the pantomime Mother Goose opposite Ian McKellen in the title role of the Duke of York's theater in London. Sorry, in the title role of the Duke of York theater in London's West End before touring the UK in Ireland up until April 2023 this year. Oh boy. Does any of that mean anything to you besides Camilla and Chopper and Charles?
Well, other than he was in Monty Python Live mostly, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I love Alan Partridge.
Cool. So we made it, right? That's the end. That's the final companion. Am I right?
Nope. You still have two more.
Damn you! Why do you always look ahead?
Because I'm trying to count down how much longer we have so I can go home.
Yeah, well, you are home.
No, I'm house sitting right now, and I've had a dog that's been outside for the last 6 hours in the rain.
E.
Yeah, E.
Okay, so the other Rose, played by Yasmin Finney, at the age of 17 in April 2021, she was cast in the Billy Porter film Everything's Possible and in the Netflix series Heartstopper, the latter of which premiered in 2022. She had to pull out of Anything's Possible due to COVID-19 travel restrictions impacting her ability to get a United States work visa, leading to her to be replaced. She appeared on GLAAD's second annual 20 under 20 list. On May 16th, 2022, it was announced that she would join the cast of Doctor Who as a character called Rose for the 60th anniversary in 2023. Like her, Rose is set to be transgender. In August 2022, it was announced that she would star in the upcoming short film Mars. The film premiered in October of the same year at the London Film Festival.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool that they're taking her character in Who and taking some of her real life and making Rose the first transgender character. I think it's pretty cool.
Me too. I think it's about damn time. And if
Yeah.
anyone were to bring that bit of diversity to Doctor Who, makes sense. It's Russell.
Yeah.
So wasn't it nice that we started on a Rose and now we're ending on another Rose?
Yeah, a little bit, but there's still one more.
Yeah, think again. Think again.
Final companion for now.
Yeah. Ruby Sunday, played, of course, by Millie Gibson. She made her acting debut in the CBBC television series Jamie Johnson. She went on to star in the second and third series, appearing in a total of 17 episodes, a relatively short soap opera in British terms. In November 2017, she appeared in the third episode of the BBC One drama series Love, Lies, and Records. In October 2018, she appeared in the three-part ITV drama series Butterfly. In June 2019, she joined the cast of ITV soap opera Coronation Street. In August 2022, it was announced she had decided to leave the soap and that she would depart later in that year. In November 2022, it was announced during the BBC's annual Children Need Television telethon that she would join the cast of Doctor Who in 2023 as Ruby Sunday, the companion of the 15th Doctor, portrayed by Ncuti Gatwa. But that is a story for another time, thankfully.
Finally!
Yeah, and I actually started on the other companion, the Big Finish companions. So I actually, for a minute there, I thought we had another person to talk about, but thankfully, no.
I would have reached through the screen and strangled you.
I would strangle myself with the scarf.
Yeah.
Aye.
That is quite... There's less companions here, and somehow we still made as long an episode.
Yeah.
because spoilers, we had to film an hour. I had to go get lunch because it's daytime for me here. Then we continued. So all told, we're looking at like a 3.5 hour episode, which is about how long the classic companions were.
Soda, again, the fourth wall. We don't
Really?
We do not break kids.
Unless their mother's called.
I mean, can't you see I'm wearing the exact same shirt as the last one?
I'm pretty sure they'd have figured it by the. Anyways.
Right.
Hi, 50s mom. Yeah. Now I am.
Sure. Yeah, she doesn't watch this show.
Really? She doesn't watch
Especially if it's a 3-hour thing.
There you go. Now we found your mom's threshold. So next week it is the Big Finish companions, correct?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's companions outside the TV show, which does include audio companions outside of Big Finish. But I mean, you can't exactly do breakdowns of characters from the books because they don't have an actor attached to them as much.
All I'm saying is if you do every single companion in Big Finish, I will.
You'd be surprised to know that there are less companions there, but you know.
And I'm assuming the ones that cross over we don't really need to do.
What do you mean crossover?
Well, I'm sure that there have been companions from the TV show that have done Big Finish series, right?
There have been companions from the TV show that were played on Big Finish by other actors.
But what I'm saying is the characters we don't need to go over again.
The characters, no. The actors, maybe.
All right.
So, plug away.
All right. My personal Instagram, it's soda_the_saxman. Basically all over this channel with 50 here. And we're on the Sodigan Wrestling Network.
Yeah, and me every Monday on this show, The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. Every Thursday on Fun with Flags with this guy. On my own YouTube channel, 50 Shades of Geek, where I do weekly reviews of every single Doctor Who episode from 1963 to 2022, including Tomb of the Cybermen, which got blocked by the BBC again. So hopefully by the time you're watching this, the dispute worked and the copyright block has been lifted. And if not, screw the BBC. And you can also find all these other wonderful channels from the wider Benverse at large, like Something to Talk About, Galaxy Geeks, Multiverse of Geekdom, Movie Lovers Unite, The Midnight Cinema, 8-Time Reviews, and of course, In the Front Row, who has been mentioned a couple of times in this video, but not still on this old thumbnail right here. So, yeah, that's that. Anyways, so here's for another 3-hour episode next week. And in the words of Missy herself,
don't forget to like and subscribe.
Goodbye.